Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000AD, and today we're joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossy, what you want? Oh, a tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle for a home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday world to say.
Hello, and this episode is brought to you from sunny Southern California and Celsius Live Fit Playa Vibe Pina Colada Edition.
And Mr. John Burtis.
Hello to all you drockers out there. From still warm down in the southeast, the Garden of England, while the rest of the country have storms, I am still sat in just a pair of shorts. Misses. And talking about the decline of the weather in the rest of the country, let's talk about deaths, baby. So, first up, we have Reggie Bannister, aged 80. Who's an American actor. He was in the Phantasm film series. He was the gun-toting ex-ice cream man. Do you remember that? Everyone of our age must have watched Phantasm.
He was the tall man.
No.
No.
Yes, sorry. I'm miles away. I was down the page, so I couldn't get back up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a tall man.
Yes. Very.
Did he do any?
No, he wasn't. That was Angus Scrimm. Was the tall man.
Oh God.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
See, that's what happens. I'm down the page checking out the rest of his films because he did quite a lot.
Was he related to Pale Grim Rider?
There's nothing here about spouses. He's got a very strange name, spouse. He married in 2001. Gigi, however you pronounce it, G-I-G-I. Gigi Fast Elk Porter. So that's a name, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Sounds like she's native. She's indigenous.
Who knows?
I don't say Native American anymore. I don't want to be racist. They're indigenous.
Well, he did also marry somebody in 81, Susan McDonald Akalski. So I don't know what that is. Anyway, so he was a veteran, a US veteran of the Vietnam War, and he used to, he was normally around the 30 and the 50 caliber weapons, which resulted in some hair loss. And he was also exposed to Agent Orange. Fucking hell, he was all over, wasn't he?
Wow.
And he was diagnosed in 2016 with Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's disease. And films we would have known him in was obviously the Phantasms, got a Survival Quest. Was that, sorry?
How many of them were those? Well, just probably.
Right, you got Phantasm 2, Phantasm 3, Phantasm 4, Oblivion. That's all I can see at the moment. He was also in Bubba Hotep, which I've got a copy of. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Wishmaster, he was in that. He was in The Rage, The Mangler Reborn, Carnies, Not Another B Movie, The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. The last film he was in was Bojangles in 2017. And other works he was in was like Behind the Scenes. I presume these are POV and Actors Insight, Working with a Master. I got Phantasmagorical, A Mystery Tour, and The Making of Bubba Hotep. So, yeah. So even though people probably don't remember his name or anything, they'll have remembered his face from numerous films we've all watched.
He
Right.
probably had a side hustle doing conventions for
Oh yeah,
a big chunk of his life too.
yeah, yes. All right. Next up, we have Cheryl Hall, aged now they didn't quite know at the time, 75 or 76, English actor. And she was in. You won't have heard of this one, Rossy Flint will. Citizen Smith. She was Shirley Johnson in that, and she also had a recurring role in The Bill.
She the girlfriend?
I presume so. And I think it worked out because she did marry Robert Lindsay from 74 to 80.
Power to the people.
That's it. She also played Linda, Sid Abbott's secretary in Bless This House. She was in Sykes. Let's have a look. Let's look at all these here. So films, Deep End, To Catch a Spy, The Magnificent Seven Deadly Sins, one for Rossy, Rent-A-Dick, No Sex, We're British. Strange, all these things, aren't they? Television. So she was in fucking loads here. Special Branch, Comedy Playhouse, Sykes and the Big Show. Let's go down. Sykes, as in the normal series. Doctor Who, Z-Cars, Love Story, Crown Court, Bless His House, The Sweeney. She was in loads of stuff where she was in one episode, but Citizen Smith, she was in 15 episodes. Danger UXB, The Gentle Touch, oh yeah, Tales of the Unexpected, EastEnders, Poirot, The London's Burning, Inspector Morse, The Bill, Silent Witness, Waking the Dead, and The Bill again. So she had tons of stuff, all like just basically one episodes, unless she's in like a few. Very interesting. But yeah, that was one of the staples at the time was Citizen Smith. But yeah, another person gone. Now, here we are. This is probably the biggest one we had over the 2 weeks. Hayden Panettiere, aged 36, American actress. Yes. She was the main lead in Heroes, which was another one of those TV series that was excellent to begin with, and then sort of lost its way, a bit like Lost.
Oh yeah, that first season was on fire, and then like they blame the writer's strike for 2 and 3 being.
Do they?
But holy shit! Dude.
No, I blame Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb was brought in to write on that show, and he's the one that wrote Lost, and it became a piece of shit. And then he got put on Heroes, and it became a piece of shit. He's a terrible writer.
Right.
Yeah, that Long Halloween that he wrote, that people rate that up there with Dark Knight and some of the other.
Oh, it's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to talk about something that's written for the trade? It's like 2 and 3 panel pages and not a lot going on.
That's because he relies heavily on the artists that he works with. That's the reason he made his name.
Right.
I mean, he had Tim Sale. He was partnered with Tim Sale for a long time, and then he had the guy that died that did all the Fathom stuff. Michael Turner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had that on Superman, Batman, which is absolute garbage as well. All the work that he's done has been garbage. Jeff Loeb. In fact, I think the only work that he did that wasn't garbage was his very first DC work. It was it was Challengers of the Unknown. It was like I think a 6-part miniseries, 6 or 8-part miniseries, and that's because the Challengers of the Unknown were kind of obscure back then.
The only way to go is up.
Yeah.
Did he? Was it him and Tim Sale who did that Billy 99 thing? Or was
that was
Tim
an
Sale?
indie. That might have been just Tim Sale on his own.
Yeah, or Tim Sale with somebody else. So, because we're all like too lazy to look it up. But
no, anyway, that was Tim Sale and another writer. I think Sarah Byam. I think her name is.
Oh yeah, you're right. So.
Yeah, that was an indie book.
So I'm trying to dig myself out of conspiracy corner, but Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, we'll get to that bit, Mr. Ross. We'll get to that bit.
Oh, okay.
So she starred as Claire Bennett, the cheerleader in Heroes, and she was also in the slasher horror film series Scream as Kirby Reed.
Mm-hmm.
So she won. So she received 2 nominations for acting in Nashville as well. She was in that. Then she did. Let's have a look here. There's a bit about when she first started. She's first appearance on screen when she was 11 months old in a 1990 Play School toy train commercial, and by far she'd appeared in more than 50 commercials. She was also a model. She was in voiceover actress as well in stuff like Kingdom Hearts. Fuck me, the whole page is a right mess because it doesn't have a list of the stuff. Come on, let's look down here. So she's also a model as well. She also did activism for the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and she was also a partnered with the Whaleman Foundation to disrupt the dolphin hunt, and she also did the anti-whaling stuff, but she defended the Aboriginal whaling, saying there's a difference between commercial whaling, which is true, and the whaling practiced by Aboriginal tribes in the US. The weird one is their relationship. She did go out with the co-star. He had a weird name. What was it at? Oh, God. Anyway, I'll get back to that one. But she did marry. Are you ready for this? You'll never believe who she married, considering she's not a very tall person. She married Vladimir Klitschko, the heavyweight boxer.
Oh.
She was married from him from 2009 to 2011, and then again 2013 to 2018. So very interesting there. Where is it at? There we are. Milo Ventimiglia. She was going out with him when they were on in the series Heroes at the same time. And then it goes into a substance abuse and substance abuse and mental health issues, alcoholism and stuff like that. But there's loads of stuff about her supposedly being abused by the rich and powerful when she was a child, and she started talking about that. And then obviously people are saying, some people are saying that's probably the reason she's finally been taken out. But then you think, well, surely that would have happened before she revealed tons and tons of stuff. But
she was going to name names. Her
was that the thing? She was actually going to name the names, was she?
Yeah, she has she had an autobiography out where she said what happened, but not with who, and that she was going to name names, and that's probably why this the YouTube algorithm got me again. And there's a channel called Kirby Summers is the woman who she's written all these books about Epstein and everything else. Apparently she wasn't like as directly with Epstein per se, but she said he was just like one, and there was this big network and blah blah blah. So she did an episode, like 20-minute episode about Hayden Panettiere and she named a bunch of the names, and it was I was like, all right, let's hear this. And it was like, oh boy. So it was, if true, it's a harrowing experience. And if you ever want to confirm that you don't want to trade places with the rich and powerful, just listen to those stories. And it's like, geez, man, poor girl went through hell. So, and just like you said, from age 11 months, like pretty much the mother sold her out. And like when she confronted her mother and said, I don't want to do this anymore, and I don't want to give my money to you, it's like the mother would just completely lost interest in her. She was only interested in her as a cash cow. So
yeah,
according to allegedly, according to Kirby Summers, not me. So
yeah, well, that's what happens to a lot of the young ones. Will Wheaton's famously spoken about his parents basically just abusing him monetarily and taking everything. So
Gary Coleman, a lot of them.
You see it when we've seen like programs on TV where they're showing the parent at the audition with the kid, and it's like you can just see the parents, like especially the female version of the parent is like all dolled up, and you think this is what you wanted for yourself, but you didn't get it, and now you're going to live it through your daughter. You know what I mean?
Well, one of my bosses years
Rossy,
ago,
didn't your mom take you to a couple of auditions?
Well, I wanted to go, and I was like in my late teens, or I wasn't like a small child, and it was just one, but my brother had to come along because my mom.
Did he get the part?
No, but my brother's 5 years younger than me, so he was I don't know if he was a teenager yet, but the whole thing was this guy comes out and the guy who came out and started talking to us. He literally looked like Disco Stu from The Simpsons. He had the fro and the disco suit and everything else. And so he gave the pitch, and he tried to sound like as honest as possible. And he was like, if somebody asks for money, I'm not going to ask for your money. We make our money once you get working, and so we're going to make sure you're working, and blah 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 blah. And it wasn't just us. It was like a room full of people. It was sort of like a seminar. So he goes on, he does like maybe about 20 minutes talking about his company, and he worked with Van Halen and da. Mind you, and again, like this was like hairy chest, gold chains, the whole, like the walking living stereotype, not particularly tall, the whole walking stereotype. So he tells us about his number one client and brings him out, Corey Feldman, and it's his son. Yeah, it was his son.
And Corey Feldman tells us stories, doesn't he, about what's going on?
Yeah, and I was like, man, if that's like at the time, Corey Feldman was still not prone to all the scandals and all that, but as things started to collapse in his life, I was like thinking, I couldn't help but think, like, man, if that's your dad. Then no, of course, no wonder they must have sold him out. They must have sold him out to anybody and anyone too. So and my brother just, I don't know what it was, but it triggered my brother. My brother just hated Corey Feldman from that moment on. So Corey Feldman came out and did like 15 minutes of comedy stuff he probably did at the Comedy Store in Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was too cool for school. He had these like Ray-Bans on, never took them off and all that. But
did he do his Michael Jackson impression?
No, but he did Doc Brown from Back to the Future and the Klingon from Star Trek 3 and all that. I got to admit, I mean, the kid had talent, but also unlike me and my brother, he probably never had to do like yard work and and chores or whatever else. Like he was just like trained for that since the minute he was like able to walk and talk. So, that's all he could do. And if he couldn't make money off of that, he was going to be fucked. Well, actually, I'm sure that happened to him as well. But so it's definitely like a poor little rich kid situation with those Nepo babies. And one of the customers wrote a book about like what happens to the child stars after they're not cute anymore. And
what show are you trying out for?
It wasn't a show. It was for the management. It was for Corey Feldman's dad to manage. And he said it's different than an agent. I'm not an agent. I'm not going to book you for things, but he's like, he just manages you. And so again, like the ripoff is you got to pay your agent X amount of percent, and you got to pay the manager X amount of percent. And what
TV roles do you think Rossy would have got, John?
They would have put some makeup on him to make him a little bit older, and he would have been the pervert in the street that the children were warned away from.
I would so it'd be like a 20-year-old I mean, you've only known me since I've been like in my late 40s to 50s.
That's it. Don't go past. If you hear a car coming up behind you with the music of Gary Newman or Adamant, just keep walking.
Yeah, I mean, back then I looked closer to the faux Adamant, Timo Adamant version of me than the watch out, he's hanging out at the playground again version or whatever you think.
Oh dear.
No, you see the credits roll. You see the credits roll, and Rossy's name was on "Man Who Gave Blowjob," Stephen Ross.
There you go.
Oh,
that'll be your look, Rossy.
That's it.
Well, why don't you be my manager, Flint?
No, I wouldn't make any money. I'd be poor and destitute.
That's it.
Get you a Jew for a wig and the Saturday Night Fever suit, and there you go.
I'll have to change my name to Stephen Reedstein or something.
Yeah, Reedberg.
Reedberg. There you go.
All right, we shall move on.
They rule Hollywood.
We shall move on to another death. Talking about Hollywood, R.J. Kaiser, age 73. American film director. Hardly anything on the page, but we have definitely seen these films that he was involved with. He directed Hell Comes to Frogtown, Godzilla 1985, and he edited one of my favourite films at the time, Galaxy of Terror.
Wow. I've got that one on Blu-ray.
Have you?
I do, sir.
Is Galaxy of Terror the one with the alien rape scene in it?
Yeah.
The giant worm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Isn't it the what? Yeah, it's it takes me back to getting the films from the local video shop well before Blockbusters in Hartlepool, and it was just sort of like, have you got Galaxy of Terror? Yep. You had to know the things and you had to know the people. And it was like you had to just take your chances if it was back in from somebody else borrowing it or hiring it, renting it. Sorry, but yeah, those are the days. Proper,
so I saw that one in the theater though.
Did you?
So we had a I think I forgot. Oh, it was a 4-screen multiplex that was right by the freeway called the Rosemead 4, and it was as close to a grindhouse theater as you would get out here in suburbia.
Nice.
Everything Roger Corman ever made, if it was a slasher film, if it had ninjas in it, if it was dubbed, if it was just like all the stuff, but it wasn't like the really sleazy stuff that some of the grindhouse theaters got, like in New York and like the 42nd Street stuff, but it was all the Corman-y type of things. So yeah, that's where I saw like Death Sport, and I saw Battle Beyond the Stars at least 3 times. So
yeah, I think that was his rip-off movie of Alien, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, there was another one, and I forgot what the other one was called, but they kind of like used the sets from the two of them. Sort of used the sets and props from each other. It was one of the ones where like they went to McDonald's and got like the styrofoam containers that the burgers used to come in, and then they stapled them to the wall. And
that was James Cameron did that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so that was. I think James Cameron worked on that. Well, I know
Galaxy of Terror. I think it's from Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah, I know for sure he worked on Battle Beyond the Stars because he designed the boob ship. But the this one, the Galaxy of Terror, I think he was like on the crew or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's the one that did the McDonald's thing. As far as I can remember, could be wrong.
So I've opened up his IMDb, which is a lot more stuff on there. So it mentions the Hell Comes to Frogtown and all that, but it also mentions he was ADR, is that assistant director on stuff. Yeah. So there's a hell of a lot of films that we would have seen. Let me just go down. So he was in the Philadelphia Experiment, uncredited for dialogue editor. He did Arachnophobia.
I don't know if ADR is. I think ADR is a sound thing.
Is it? Super.
I think so.
It might. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Kindergarten Cop, Toy Soldiers, The Lion King, Street Fighter, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, ADR. Yeah, because he's the next one, Showgirls. He's a sound
ADR is
effects.
automated dialogue replacement.
Right, sound effects editor of Showgirls.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way, Alien Resurrection, The X-Files, The Siege, X-Men, Men of Honor, Dr. Dolittle 2, Planet of the Apes, Shallow Hal, Behind Enemy Lines, Daredevil, Master and Commander, Far Side of the World, The Terminal, X-Men Last Stand, Night at the Museum, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Alvin and the Chipmunks, more X-Files, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Inception, X-Men First Class, Rise of Planet of the Apes, The Dark Knight Rises, The Wolverine, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Interstellar. Jesus Christ, he was never out of work. Deadpool, Passengers, War of the Planet of the Apes, The Predator, X-Men Dark Phoenix, and the last one he was down for was Bad Boys for Life. Jesus Christ. He was bloody a busy person in demand.
Yeah, but to go from Hell comes to Frog Town,
it's always gonna be a failure going
to being like to working on Interstellar. I mean, that's kind of a,
it's a drop.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway, let's move on to somebody else. We've got Frank Beard, age 77, American Hall of Fame drummer for ZZ Top. And the big joke at the time was, obviously, the only person who didn't have a beard in ZZ Top was called Beard. And it wasn't long ago, only about 2 or 3 years.
Name, not by nature.
That's it. It was only about 2 or 3 years that one of the main the guitarist died, didn't he? I can't remember what his name was now.
Yeah. So now it's ZZ Below Ground.
Well, that's it, yeah. Because you've got Dusty Hill, and then I think he's the one who's died, and Billy Gibbons, who were the main ones. And it says he was an American musician, was a long-time drummer of the rock band ZZ Top. He and bassist Dusty Hill performed with American Blues before the two joined guitarist Billy Gibbons on ZZ Top. Then so basically it's just going to just be ZZ Top all the way through for that initial bit. Yeah, I mean they had some good stuff when they were at their peak, and they did play Maidstone at the Ramblin' Man, but we didn't go to that one. That was one of the early Ramblin' Mans where we sort of didn't really know much about it.
Right.
Yeah, but well,
believe it or not, John.
Yes.
I do listen to YouTube videos that have videos about groups other than Adam and the Ants and Gary Newman.
My God.
There's this one you might like. It's called Guitar Before Silence. You don't have to watch it because all he does is loop through clips from their band's music videos, and then he like orally tells the story about their rise and fall. And they range about 10 minutes, so you might have to find out what finally happens to him. You might have to go into the 13-minute mark. But anyway, so he was talking about ZZ. He did one about ZZ Top before this guy died, and he said that like those big hits were actually a drum machine, and that was like Legs and all the other ones, and they were the video was mostly about the drum machine, and MTV came along and you had a band that was like really not photogenic at all and didn't move around on stage much or do anything, and so they had to come up with all the stuff, the little hand thing that they do, and focus more on the girls in the car, and the car was brought in for the music videos, I think, and they just made a big thing about them. So yeah, it was like kind of like misdirection to get away from the band. There was another act. This is not talked about by this guy, but they were saying like Chris Cross, who had that song from Arthur that was like a huge hit. They were like, he could have been the next Billy Joel singer-songwriter, but he was just like not made for MTV, so that killed his career.
Well, I shall tell you about his death then, eh? So it says Beard was touring with ZZ Top this year when they cancelled their show on August the 5th at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, reportedly due to Beard's health. Weeks later, he died under hospice care at his ranch in Richmond, Texas. So it's not been disclosed what his death was. It says the day after his death, Gibbons announced that the band would continue their tour per Beard's wishes. And Beard was the second member of the classic ZZ Top lineup to die, following bassist Dusty Hill in 2021. So the Gibbons, the sole survivor, is going to continue touring with bassist Elwood Francis and drummer Michael Monahan. Yeah, so...
And the drum machine.
Well, no, it's a real person. Anyway, so that's that one. Now we've got Nick Glennie Smith, age 74, English film composer, and he's another one of those ones where you just go, Jesus Christ, a load of stuff that I've watched. Let's just scroll down. Jesus Christ, this is bloody tons of stuff. Right. Filmography. As primary composer, The Rock, Fire Down Below, The Man in the Iron Mask, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, Highlander, Endgame, Attila, We Were Soldiers, Sound of Thunder, Children of Glory, A Belfast Story, Laura's Star. Then with others, he also did stuff like K2, Calendar Girls, Cool Runnings, Monkey Trouble, The Lion King, Crimson Tide, Bad Boys, The Preacher's Wife, Detox, Mission Impossible 2, King Arthur, Thunderbirds, Da Vinci Code, Deja Vu, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, fucking you name it, he's fucking in it. I mean, it just goes on and on forever. So there's another one, you never know the name, but they're just never out of business, just constantly working.
That just sounds like a catalog from Blockbuster, you know. That's every video store from the 80s through 2000 right there.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yes. Right, let's get on to another one then. We've got...
Holy crap.
What? Oh, yeah, I've got a few left. We've got John Irvin, aged 86, English film and television director. Let me just get to the list. So, the films he did were The Dogs of War, Ghost Story, Champions, Hamburger Hill, Robin Hood, 1991, Widow's Peak, Crazy Horse, The Fourth Angel, Garden of Eden, and then documentary where he did stuff like Inheritance, Carousella, Medieval England, The Peasants' Revolt. Oh, it's just like now. And television, he did, where we go, Haunted, which is a TV movie, Hard Times miniseries, ITV Playhouse, loads and loads of directors did stuff on that. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. But yeah, so a hell of a lot of stuff. And again, a name that you would never hear of unless you sat and watched loads of stuff about directors, you know, like previously with the other person, with musicians. But yeah, I mean, Hamburger was that's the film. Yeah, that was the one. That was basically the Pooh Man's Vietnam film at the time, but I thought it was excellent.
It was good.
Yeah. That one, his father was a mechanical engineer who was involved in the construction of the Iran-Iraq pipeline as part of the Royal Engineers. Oh, I don't remember him. That's what you normally get asked when people say, what are you with? And say this, and they'll go, oh, do you know such and such? Yeah, there's only about 12,000 people in the Corps.
Yeah.
Right, next up, we've got Roger Mackenzie, age 75, American comic book writer. You ready? Notable works.
He did a lot of Daredevil stuff for Frank Miller.
That's it. Daredevil and Captain America. He also did his first comics work was a 7-page short titled Ground Round in Vampirella 50 in 1976.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Respect now.
He's also written for a variety of independent comic publishers such as Pacific Comics, Comico Comics, Cyrus Comics, Pied Piper Comics.
Comico.
Is that okay, Flint? I've always wondered, like, how did you know someone who worked for them or with them, and they told you? Because I could never get a straight answer like how that's pronounced.
Comico was remember ColecoVision? the gaming thing. Mm-hmm. That's what they based their name partly on, that, because they wanted to be a fun kind of company. So Comic and Comico and ColecoVision, so it became Comico.
Oh, see, and now you know, learning is half the battle.
I shall tell you some of the stuff he was involved in then. So he was involved in Batman, Dark Lightning, House of Mystery, House of Secrets, Weird Western Tales, The Unexpected, Wallywood's Thunder Agents, Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, Gremlins, Savage Dragon, Battlestar Galactica, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Iron Man, Ghost Rider, The Spectacular Spider-Man, Marvel Team Up, The Tomb of Dracula, What If, Kamikaze Cat, Lawrence and Lim's Ex-Mutants, Creepy, lots of Creepy, Eerie, lots of Eerie, Vampirella, quite a few of that. On the Daredevil, it says he did the Daredevil Punisher, he did Child's Play, includes Daredevil 183, blah, blah, blah. Daredevil Marked for Death, and it goes Daredevil by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson, Omnibus collects Daredevil, blah, 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 and it goes 840 pages. Now, that's an omnibus.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, so
your albums.
Quite a lot of stuff he did there. I've never heard the name, but that's not my scene. But yeah,
he was well known. He did a lot of stuff, but mainly, I think he's mainly known for his Daredevil stuff with Frank Miller.
Yeah, but it sounds like it probably rolled to a stop around the 90s. Like,
no, he's got stuff for 2014, 2016. That was Charlton Neo. I'm just looking to see what the dates have got, everything else, but majority of stuff is the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, because I was, when you said the name and you were like, oh, Daredevil and Captain America, it's like, oh, by that point I was so focused on 2000 AD, I wasn't really reading a lot of superhero stuff. But then when you started mentioning all that indie stuff from that era, I was like, oh yeah, okay, pretty good.
And the final name I've got is Janie Bradford, age 87, American songwriter. Now, it says here, known for her tenure with Motown, I only got this just before we went live. She co-wrote Moni, That's What I Want. Originally recorded by Barrett Strong and then by the Beatles on their second album with the Beatles. Moni is also on the Rolling Stones' first UK EP.
And the Flying Lizards.
I was going to get to that. So it's been used by a lot of people, that. I mean, and because she co-wrote it, she must have earned a few bob, even with it going now. And if you get, every time people buy a Beatles album, it's there, isn't it? You know what I mean? And Beatles albums never go out of sort of the selling lists.
Apple figured out a way to fuck people over with Apple with their iTunes probably figured out a way to make sure nobody gets any money off of them. So
that's it. But there we are. Basically, that is all of them.
So I used to make fun of this old hippie that worked. I think he owned the hippie record store where you could get like all the cool records, all the imports and everything. So even though he was a hippie, he had like a lot of punk and new wave stuff too. He discriminate. And so, but he loved Neil Young, and he could like plays like 6 Degrees of Neil Young. You know, it'd be like, do you have any Devo records? And you'd be like, yeah, Devo, they were with Neil Young in that movie, The Human Highway. Blah, blah, blah. So I've become that guy because the Flying Lizards version of Money appeared on the Devotees tribute album that our radio station K-Rock put out, which is just cover versions and kind of Devo adjacent sounding stuff.
Devo adjacent.
Yeah. Actually, you know what though? Damn, now I'm not sure if that was the Devotees album or just another K-Rock compilation. But anyway, well, K-Rock used to play a lot of Devo, so I guess I'm not completely wrong. But anyway, one way or another, I've got it on one of those new wave compilations. So
what? It's not on a punk compilation.
It's on the K-Rock. K-Rock was so ahead of its time that it was more it was more fluidity to what was considered punk and what was considered new wave.
Oh God,
yes.
The waffle.
And now now it's kind of like, well, are they synth pop? Well, the synthesizer didn't become the foremost instrument until 1981's New Traditionalist album. So yeah, maybe not. So there you go. Dear. So we're out of it. We're done with deaths.
Deaths are over.
Okay. So no more people.
Yeah, I don't have any deaths.
What?
Except the death of Ilya Omar. It turns out a homeland. What you call them? They're delving into her fraud stuff, so you can't do any.
Wow.
So they're going after her, so she might actually be deported.
Dang.
Brilliant.
They can't really comment on it now because it's a full-blown investigation into fraud.
On the advice of her attorney, legal counsel, she's pleading the fifth.
Yeah, she's doing a Fauci, probably.
You probably can't reveal stuff because other people who are part of the thing will get a whiff to and be like, all right, we've got to fucking hide our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's she's
delete the phone calls, shred the papers. That's illegal. It doesn't matter. It's even worse if they know.
Well, they get rid of the phone, don't they? They say the phone's lost. That's what happens over here with the government.
Mm-hmm. Then the government just kind of goes, whoopsie.
Yeah. So they're investigating her.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll see if anything happens with it though.
Was that thing you posted about the Strait of Hormuz actually being a U.S. territory now? Was that?
That's just Trump being Trump.
Oh, okay. So it's not official. They haven't
well, it's never going to be official, is it?
We'll see. So
yeah.
Anyway,
that's it. So Kickstarter corner, Rossy, you got any?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. One thing, I'm sorry if I didn't. Well, first of all, nobody cares, so I'm not that sorry. But I didn't follow up on it last night when I talked to the guy. That White Dragon movie that's got the Green Power Ranger. It's controversial now because they're doing a theatrical run. They're basically doing a Red Sonja where they're going to play it in theaters for a few days so they can say it had a theatrical run and charge more for streaming. But yeah, so but a buddy of mine who's also a Power Ranger fan, he sent me a picture of himself at a regular movie theater standing in front of the poster, and I know the theatrical run was going to be like at the end of this month or near the end of August, and I don't know if he actually went to see the movie or he just went to see something else and sent me the picture of him standing in front of the poster because he happened to be there. So I forgot to ask him if he'd seen it and how it was, but he's like me. I don't know if you guys, somebody else was talking about it. It's like they're really good cosplayers and they're really good at making costumes, and they made some, but their fan films are kind of boring because they take themselves like way too, like even the comedy bits are like so projected that they're not that funny. Like, this is the comedy part, and you're like, oh, ha ha ha. So like I said, I put in my $20. I'm gonna get all the digital shit, files and scripts and music and even a screensaver for my phone. But I don't think it'll be like an okay one-time watch. We'll see. But there was that, and then Uncle Pat. I think today's the last. If you get these up pretty fast, Flint, so maybe somebody who listens to it as soon as it goes up could still get Shaw #2. I have to kind of remember to get the digital copy. And then I'll get to that one. And then the Luchadors versus everything. Apparently, the book is now almost 600 pages long. So it's at the printer, and then I'll be getting the book and all the other shit hopefully before the end of the year. And that thing is a beast. I saw the rough version at Comic-Con, and the layout's beautiful. It's full of archival photos of scripts and props and behind the scenes, and it's truly amazing. So I'm really, it was not a cheap book, but I'm glad that I got it when I could, and that looks cool. And then I got news that some Kyla Treasury is looking pretty good and should be shipping soon. You want to say something about that?
Yeah, 136 pages, I think it is, and the proofs came in when I was away, and I took a look at them when I got back, and I'm really impressed with the quality. It looks really, really good. We've even got some print on the spine as well, so you know it's number one.
Wow, awesome.
It's thick enough to have a spine.
A spine.
So so I'll be compiling the orders today and sending them out to the printer to get the ball rolling and have everything fulfilled. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks everything will be done.
I'm so proud of it. It looks really nice. Plus,
yeah, it looks great. Rossy's in it too, John. There's a picture of Rossy in it.
Yeah, despite that.
Is it him dressed dancing in the 80s?
No, it's an embarrassing old man photo.
Oh no! Oh, are you looking at this? Are you looking sort of like wistfully out of a window with your chin perched upon your forefinger?
No,
I think he took this picture with there's a bookshelf behind him.
Oh yeah. God, I dread to think what he did deliberately put behind.
No, it's all right. I put it in our chat, in the Star Riders chat.
All right. I was going to say, did you change some of the books for a laugh?
I should have, shouldn't I?
No,
I should have
changed. You should have indeed.
I think.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So it's
quite arty because half his face is blacked out slightly, isn't it? Nice shadow on it.
Yeah, that was right in front of that, right in front of that bookcase that you were slept in front of there, John.
Yeah, I wiped the penis on all those books.
Mm-hmm. Still smelled of you.
Did Rossy, when you took that, did you take that picture that day when I asked for it, or did you already have something up your sleeve?
Oh no, I took it that day and photoshopped it and everything before.
It looked good.
No. Thanks.
It's like you're staring into the viewer's soul.
Thanks. I took the I wanted like all the pulp books in the background, so that's the bookcase. If I just 3 feet to the other direction there, I would have had a bunch of guinea pig books in the background, and I didn't think that would be appropriate. So I wanted to do right by Flint, believe it or not.
So what's the word? What's the word under the script word? The first word. I can't see what. There's only an N I can see. What's it say? Or is it a W? Script to print. Something the sausage is made. Is it how?
How the sausage is made. Introducing Stephen Ross. It's an even Stephen. See that?
Yes.
Yep. I'll tell you. The page count for that thing is impressive, but you really get your money with the word count. So.
Yeah, it's a really good package. And
I've just seen the hardback bit. Yeah, I've just moved down the pictures. Yeah.
It'll take you days and weeks to read it.
Oh God, yeah.
There's a lot. Even Dave's interview with me is in there as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll show you that one.
I like the way you've done the sketches on the inside page. That's nice.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave it blank.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pay for it, might as well. Go the whole hog. And even the inside back cover has an image on it too. So there's Dave.
I hope you put some spelling mistakes in there deliberately.
Oh, I think I went through it with a fine tooth comb to make sure there was no spelling mistakes. Rossy would have caught them anyways.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's Dave. That's Dave's across a gay nightclub floor signal to somebody.
That's him in the bathroom tapping his toes to the guy next to the next stall.
Oh dear. Oh, dear.
So that's it for Kickstarter Corner. Movies and TV. What have you seen, John?
Oh my God, I watched this film the other night only because there was 3 films on I think it was Sunday night. What day is it today? No, it might have been Saturday night, and I recorded them all. And then I watched one yesterday. I ended up doing lots of fast forwarding through because it became a bit repetitive. But what it was called, let me just get my page. It was called Something in the Water. 1 hour 26, and it wasn't 1 hour 26 on the telly. 2024, 15 rated, 4.1 on IMDb. Starring Hiftu Qasim, Lauren Lyle, Natalie Mitson, Nicole Reiki Setsuko, and Eloise Shakespeare Hart. Basically, starts off 2 of the girls, lesbians, because that's the part of the story, are talking and walking as they're holding hands down the streets of the UK somewhere, talking about a wedding. One of their friends is being proposed to by a boyfriend, and the wedding's going to be next year. And they go up this sort of like steps to the next level of the streets, and a group of girls come down and they go, "Oh, you fucking lesers," and all that sort of stuff. And they ignore them. But it's a black girl and a white girl. And the white girl turns around at the top and does the old 2 fingers up or double bear. I can't remember what she does. And they kick the shit out of their friend.
Wow.
And so then it goes 1 year later, and they're going to the wedding, which is all paid for by this rich family out on this beautiful desert island sort of thing. They get there. These 2 have obviously split up, but they're both coming on different flights without realising to the wedding. And there's 5 girls now, who I mentioned all the names. They try to sort of like get her to relax a bit, and they sort of like are not going to be horrible because it's the wedding of their best friend. And one of the other girls hires a boat, or she just says to somebody, "Can we borrow your boat?" They go off to this remote island, and the 2 girls who used to be a piece get off, and then they start to reverse the boat back and say, "Right, you 2 can walk around to us. You've got an hour to sort yourselves out because we don't want this sort of thing." And so the other lot go around the corner. They eventually get to them, going around the side of the island, and they're chatting away, and they try to do a wind up on one of the girl who's getting married. They've decided they're going to wind her up by saying, "We're going to get married. We're going to get married. We'll just add on to the end of your wedding," just to wind her up, to say, like, you've done this to us, but we're going to really put you in a position now where you have to either say yes or no, because if we get married straight after you, we get everything free again, sort of thing. So as they're doing this, another one of the other black girls is stood in the water, and I'm thinking to myself, "Fucking hell, this shark better turn up soon." And and she's chatting to them, and you know it's coming, just the way it's happening. And then she sort of her body moves forward slightly, and she alters her speech, and she starts going, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." And they go in the water as the blood starts to fill the area. They pull her out. This is probably the best bit. When they take her out, the back of her leg, where it's been bitten away, was fantastic. They try to stop it. It's not working. They get in the boat. They start to go back to the island because there's no phone signal. And one of the girls starts to do the boat a bit too fast because they're in shallows and there's reef all over the place. And you think, I wonder what's going to happen now. And they hit the reef. The boat starts sinking. The girl who's dying basically because it took the archery. They have her in a life vest, and she's floating between them, and she dies. They push her away, because by now the shark's coming round them. The shark from a distance looks massive, but when it does start to do the nibbling, it's tiny. Anyway, so the shark eats their body, and they're all like, ooh. One of them decides, the white girl who was at the beginning of the film, she decides to swim back to the island, and I'm thinking, you don't even know what fucking direction it is. Off she goes. The other three are there, and steadily this members start getting eaten. You know what I mean? And it ends up with just the two who, at the very beginning of the film, survive. Because she gets aboard, she comes back just as the shark. Now there's two sharks, which is again keep changing their sides. So we have an overhead shot. This is supposed to be like the most exciting bit, but I was laughing. So there's an overhead shot of the boat coming towards her. She's swimming as fast as she can towards the boat, and the sharks are coming towards her. A friend grabs her, and there's like a policeman behind her. It doesn't even help. A friend grabs her arm, and she's scrambling to get in, and she's slightly in, and the shark hits the side of the boat, and then misses her. And then she drops back in the water again, and she's holding her arm, and she lifts her up again, and the other shark does the exact same maneuver. And by now, you think the shark, if I put my arms out and touch my fingers, it could swim through that circumference. That's how small it was. It gets him in the boat, and then they go back, and that's the end of the film. Luckily, I fast forward through the half an hour of them chatting in the water, because I just thought, I just want to see us all die. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely rubbish. But it filled half an hour. Again? Something in the water.
Okay.
Just one of the girls, when she gets eaten, she has a diver's knife on her, and the shark swims past her, and it catches her, and she drops the knife, and I'm like, oh, fucking typical. So then when it comes up underneath her to eat her, I don't know how it fit in her mouth, because I've seen the size of the shark. She then I'll give her a due. She gives it a good old punch, and as she gets munched down on, and then she's gone. And yeah, it was all terrible stuff. But
so where did you see it? Was it a made for Netflix something, or
no, it was a proper film. Yeah, I don't know if it got a cinema release, but it just appeared because there's there's a couple more films on the TV that night, and I thought I'd record them all, and then I just sort of decided how I want to watch them. But I knew that would be the shittest.
It's a UK movie.
So you got that. So it's got the 7 actors in it.
Yeah.
Well, I've never heard of any of them.
You said it was like half an hour after you got
Helen Mirren was the shark.
Yeah.
It was about the size of her.
Helen Mirren's teeth.
And then the other things I've watched, I'm up to date on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And I watched the puppet episode, which apparently some people didn't like. I thought it was hilarious. Especially when they did the classic, basically, Kirk, Spock, hands against the glass scene. I won't say how it happens, but I did laugh. I did laugh at that. They also did a red shirt got shot, but because the puppets can't die, he's still wandering around with a big massive hole in his stomach. I watched a behind the scenes thing earlier today, and the lad who plays Spock, he was like, oh, I really enjoyed it, blah blah blah, it was a good laugh, this and the other. But I'm just thinking, surely they must have made you a Spock puppet, even though it wasn't in there, because everybody else must be owning their selves. You know what I mean? Because they were so good, and when you saw the behind the scenes, it was equally as good as anything I've seen before, where you see them trying to get into bits of the ship to be able to be sit inside the captain's chair and all that, or the pilot's desk sort of thing, controls. So yeah, quite good laugh. I really enjoyed it. And then Reacher, I'm up to date on that. We're halfway through the Reacher series, which is only 8 episodes. And I still don't know who the big bad is. I think it might be the senator, or one of their congressman, senator's wife. I think she might be it. But I'm sure I'm being led up the garden path. But he's doing his normal stuff, beating people to pieces, killing them. He's got a cop help, a detective and a cop helping him. And it's quite interesting. It's all government stuff, this one.
So the chick who plays Neely is off filming her own series.
That comes out. The Neely series hits, as I drop my stuff, it hits TV on the 16th of September. Neely.
Oh, so like just as this is just as this is ending, it's kind of like something you can go right into.
I think he might be in slightly a little part of it, and that's it, just to sort of like show people it's a spin-off crossover thing. But
so she's not, so far she's not in this.
She's not been in this episode, in this series at all.
But I like how they found an analog for her. It's like, well, we need a black woman who's competent and funny and can keep up with Reachers. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, here you go.
Well, she basically initially she wasn't interested in doing anything because she just wants to get on with her life and just doesn't want all this hassle. You know what I mean?
Neely, or the girl who's replaced
well, she's not replacement. She's just in this season because it's part of the story.
Right.
She gets pulled through because of what happens in the initial episode, where it's only all the trailers. The female commits suicide on the underground, and you don't know why. And then episode 3, I think. So he's talking to the congressman or whatever ranking this person is, who might go for president. Mm-hmm. He's talking to him, and he realizes who his sort of like boss of security is. He was also on the subway. The 5 people who were there who witnessed what happened, and the other 4 people are accounted for, and he wasn't. And so he says to the bloke on top of this roof. So it gives you what's coming next. Mm-hmm. He says like basically, well, you were there in the subway. Why were you there? And the bloke just goes to his boss, I'm sorry, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, boss. You'd have made a great president. Turns left, walks to the edge of the roof, and just walks off the roof and hits a car and dies. A parked car. So whatever's the thing that's happening is bad enough so that people will kill themselves rather than reveal anything.
Do you get the trigger warning before each episode that this episode contains scenes of suicide?
And I laugh.
I'm sure you do.
Anything like that, even on the TV where we're watching something and it says something like, there'll be strong language on this episode, and I will turn the cow and go, fucking hell, I hope fucking so. Just swear for ages. And sometimes she'll do it as well because we just think it's ridiculous. If you fucking watching a murder program, or you're watching a murder program for a start, and they tell you there's going to be strong language, well, there's fucking death as well. You know, fucking hell. If I'm watching something that has...
like Robert De Niro and Cape Fear, you're just like,
Yeah. The best I see is like nudity, language, violence, and smoking.
Yeah, and what do you say?
Smoking.
This isn't that. This isn't that. There's like an additional trigger warning that fills the screen, like black screen with white letters. It says this episode contains scenes of suicide or whatever. So it's like, okay, you know.
But I just think to myself when it does them things, I'm like, I hope bloody well so. Otherwise, I'm not watching it. You know what I mean?
It is a fictional story. I mean, I can handle
I just think they put it on for weak-willed, pathetic people who shouldn't even be allowed to watch TV. They shouldn't even be allowed to watch the news if they can't handle this. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all make-believe. It's all make-believe. If you think he can do that, you're a fool. So that's basically it, apart from living life to the full.
So what do you think about, there's that third guy who's played out like, you know, always
the wimpy cop.
The cop from a small town, and he's Barney Fife from Mayberry, and then every so often he gets his balls drop, and he's all like, I gotta go find her, I gotta find out what happened to so and so, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. You know, he talks big and all this other stuff. So do you think he's going, but spoiler at this point in the series, like half of his family's dead. So do you think he's going to die a brave and heroic death, or do you think they're going to pull a double blind and let him just have him do something awesome at the end, but he lives?
I hope this doesn't happen. I hope when they get to find the big bad, he will either shoot him, and it'll either kill him or not kill him.
Mm-hmm.
If he kills him, they'll cover it, saying that Reacher did it or something. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't kill him, she'll have to sort of say, well, we're going to have to, you know, you'll get let off with this sort of thing. But I don't think he'll die, but he might get injured doing the final thing. Mm-hmm. But Reacher might might intervene. So Reacher might do the old classic. He has the gun to the baddie. Reacher grabs the pistol and forces his hand down. You don't want to do this. You don't do that sort of thing. And then either the baddie will kill himself or you'll see him go for life in prison sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you'll see the comeuppance, but I think it might be one of those type of things. But I thought it was quite interesting when he actually cried quite well when everything was absolutely shit for him. You know, when he had to pull back the sheet and there was his nephew, one of the American football player.
Mm-hmm.
Which was because when you look at stuff like that, you think, how would you handle all that? She's dead. You think he's dead, and you know it's going to be horrendous, and then you see the body, and he's got the cut. But I did like the bringing the knife. The 4 killers who went to the room to kill the lady, and they brought their knives out, and they just went, a knife fight, and pulled their knives out. I thought, this is interesting.
That was unexpected and very cool. And I'm going to ruin it for you because I think the guy who plays like the underground reporter, I think he uses Gary Newman's hair plug doctor.
Well, I thought it was you, him.
Oh, yeah. Well, we both have the same plastic jugs full of urine, so
that's it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's enjoyable stuff. He does a good Reacher. He plays them quite well. He's not amiable, even though he gets to shag people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just there doing what he wants to do, and then just moves on to the next town.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that seems off about this one is that the way it's shot feels like they're going more for that streaming thing where they know everybody's watching it on their phones.
Oh God, yeah.
So it's like the photography is like just the most flat angle. Like here's Reacher's face right in the middle of the screen reacting, and here's 2 people standing, medium shot, just standing next to each other talking for a little bit. And, it's all very staged to be so you could see everything, even if you're watching on a dinky little phone screen. But because I'm watching on my dad's big ass TV, it seems more obvious. But most people aren't going to notice or care. They just want to see him take his shirt off and kick some ass
and beat people up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Which he does.
Yeah, they deliver the goods. If you're there to see that, then that's what you get.
That's it.
What else did you watch, Rossy?
So speaking of that, I saw Jason Statham's new movie, Mutiny. And if you look at the fake movie poster for it, I don't know if I think it was supposed to play in theaters, but Amazon leaked it or something happened, and you could acquire a copy online. And the finger quotes poster for it is a complete ripoff of the Die Hard movie poster. It's like half of his face, and instead of the Nakatomi Tower, there's like the boat pointing upwards. And it is the most meat and potatoes Jason Statham movie that ever Jason Statham. It's just, he's wherever they train you to beat the shit out of people and shoot them up, and he's keeping a low profile, and he gets on a boat, and then he kills people on the boat, and then more bad people show up, and now he's got to fight and or kill those people, and there, I forgot what the family shit part of it was. There was some kind of
the weird thing about that.
The family shit with the dad. Yeah.
Well, the weird thing about that film is I have a massive sense of deja vu that I've watched something unbelievably similar in the last year or two.
It's every Jason Statham movie.
It's either something he's done like that, or it's something like an episode. Not saying it is, but a part of Reacher. That sort of thing. It's like where they've gone on a ship, they've found the people in the hold, and they've got to do all the stuff to rescue them and all that. But then the people come on, and it's bigger than what you expect. But it's weird. So I don't know what the hell it was, but it's really weird when I saw the trailer. I'm just like, have I seen this before? So
yes, you have. If you've seen a Jason Statham movie, you've seen this before.
Well, they're all the same.
Yeah, well, the Beekeeper one was a little different. There were little spikes where, like, there's enough of a twist that you're like, oh, okay, you know. All the other ones were like a B, and then this one was kind of like a maybe even an A minus. But this is definitely in the B minus, which is still, you know, above average for everybody else. If you like him, you're definitely gonna like this. So, so that there was that. My dad and I've been watching Reacher. This week's or the Hercules movies of the last week. I think it's you can't you guys. I'm sure you guys aren't paying attention enough to remember by title, but this one was called Son of Samson. But it wasn't. It has nothing to do with Samson. It's another Maciste movie. So, so again, Maciste is like this Italian character, Italian movie created character who takes place. Most of the stuff takes place in the mythological Greek era, and even then the historicity is kind of loosey goosey, where like there might be some Roman stuff thrown in. Who knows? Who cares? They're wearing togas and those little skirty things, so you can look up the men's skirt, and the women are all beautiful and wearing like togas and gowns. And this, oh no, I didn't talk about this one before, because the evil queen in this one looks like a cross between Carolyn Monroe and Cassandra Peterson. So I was like, okay, so
the Son of Samson.
Yeah, so that
I'll
goes
look it
on.
up now.
That goes on the favorite evil queen list right there, and I'm trying to remember what the highlight was. It was like there's these star-crossed lovers. Well, again, you could tell
she kind of looks Indian, Rossy.
Was that the one? Because for some reason I thought I saw more. I may have seen more than one because we were out for 2 weeks.
Well, that's Son of Samson. She's the queen, and she kind of looks like she could be in Bollywood.
That's not a bad thing either. Anyway,
sure, I'll put an image in the group chat in the podcast team.
Okay.
And you can tell me if that's her.
Okay.
Right, it's in the podcast.
Oh. Is it another one of your wives, Rossy?
No, she was in the that was the other one I had seen. God,
well, that's Son of Samson.
Okay, so Son of Samson, I did see this one. She's actually Cuban and something. And
yeah,
this
Afro-Cuban.
Yeah, so she was a dancer. So of course there's like a sexy dance number she does to seduce Samson. But yeah, she was awesome too.
You're talking about a different movie now with the woman, or the same movie?
There were two movies, and I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I'll I'll look it up and mention it last time. So this one was the Egyptian one, and you could tell that it was not made in the United States, because the Egyptians were actually the downtrodden ones. The evil Persians were making slaves of the Egyptians in this one.
No, and just for people to know, her name is Cello Alonso.
Yes, yeah, she's something else. And there was another movie I've got on tap with her in it too, and I was like, I'm like, bring it on. She's great. So she's going to marry. She wants to marry the son of the pharaoh. She's Persian, and she's going to marry the son of the pharaoh. And they give him like one of those drugged drinks, and so it's a love potion. He falls in love with her, but he actually loves this.
Damn, she was in The Good, Bad, the Ugly, man.
Yeah. So, and she was in another Steve Reeves movie, and I'm like, okay, I like
Steve Reeves movie.
Yes, I'm going to take it in. I'm going to take it in old Steve Reeves movie.
Several of them.
Atlas awesome. Against the Cyclops, she's in.
Yes, so I do have that one on tap. Damn, what was the other one though? Well, anyway, I'll just so quick. The one that had the evil queen that looks like Elvira, cross between Elvira and Carolyn Monroe. She has the hots for Machiste or Samson or Hercules or whatever his name is.
And you can't remember the name of that movie then?
God damn it! No. The problem is
they all bleed into each other after a while.
It is true, but here's the thing. I think I've seen at least 6 of them in a very short period of time. Well, one a week ish for the past few months. So to me, that's like a short period of time. I'm not binging like 3 of them in a day or whatever, because that would be like insane. But I'm enjoying, at the pace I'm watching, I'm enjoying like almost all of them very, very much. And I'm saying, like, I'm comparing them to the Mexican wrestling movies. I have a lot of those movies, and I've seen them all. I haven't seen all the ones that they've made, but I've seen all the ones that I have. So we're talking about a couple dozen at least. And there's only really 10 of them there's 5 of them that are really good. And if you walk away from after that 5, you can say, I like Mexican wrestling movies, and be fine.
Machiste movies have been around forever, man.
Yeah, but they're only now being restored. That's the thing.
They had silent movies.
Yes. So they start it's 2 eras. There's the silent movies, and they were mostly played by this one guy.
And then there's the talkies, the 60s.
Yeah, and then once they started making, like Steve Reeves' Hercules and Hercules Unchained, that was like the detonation of all these movies. And then they made like 25 of these Machiste movies.
Yeah, Gordon Scott's in one of them as well.
Yeah. So
Goliath and the Vampires.
Right. and the crazy thing about the Machiste movies is, like, half of them aren't even like Greek or Roman stories. Like the one I watched, I think it took place in Scotland, and it started off looking like a Hammer movie. It was like they had a witch being burned at the tree, and then there was this couple, and they're moving into the castle, and she's a descendant of the witch that was burned, and so the townspeople come after her. And then this bare-chested guy wearing just a loincloth and little how can you tell I'm gay ankle-high hiking boots rides into town on a horse, and he's Machiste, and he's gonna save the family, save the girl and her husband and all this stuff. And then there was another one where, like, you're very clearly watching the Zorro movie, and then Machiste shows up, and at first the evil queen hires Machiste to do this thing, and then he finds out he's working for the wrong side, so he teams up with Zorro, and they beat the shit out of a bunch of guards and save the day. And there's one of Machiste with King Solon's Mines, and Machiste in the court of Genghis Khan, and so I'm loving these. And they never explain who he is or why he's doing what he's doing, or
I like the one Goliath and the Sins of Babylon,
where he gets to strike. So the reason I'm confused is because some of these I've been watching on YouTube, they have, like, for reasons unknown, they have like these beautifully restored letterboxed copies for free on YouTube. But if you try to buy the DVD of it, they're those shitty public domain.
They're not. They're just slapped together.
Red pen and scan copies. So I bought one of those, like 100 movies for $10 or something like that. And it's like, if I can't find this on YouTube and I'm hunkering for one, I'll watch that. Fine. But anyway, so the one with Elvira Carol Monroe hybrid queen, that one, she has the hots for him. She does the love potion thing, but he knows what's up and tosses it aside. I'm talking with, and then there's this other commoner girl who falls in love with him, and she doesn't have like the prettiest face, but she's got pretty big boobs. So, but you understand where Machiste seeing the
and you can't remember the name of that movie.
God damn it! It's pissing me off. You know what? I'm not. we'll move on, and I'll try to quietly
Find it.
look it up on YouTube, and I'll tell you, it'll be a eureka moment. But I loved them both. I really did. And then the one I'm talking about, that's like the Hammer movie one, Machiste in the, or I forgot who he is and what they called. It's Machiste in the underground. He basically goes into Hades, and it's like Dante's Inferno, Hieronymus Bosch type shit in this spooky cave, actual cave that's in Italy. And then there was the one that I really liked was Hercules and the Captive Women. Again, it has nothing to do with Hercules and the Captive Women. It's Atlantis. Everybody there's a captive. But that one had like a monster, and that one had sets that looked just like Flash Gordon. There was like the
I
palace.
think you mentioned that one before.
Yeah, the palace looks like Ming's palace in this thing, and that one's the one that has like this chariot chase in the catacombs. And I was like, damn, I hope none of those horses got hurt, because that really looked dangerous. So as I'm seeing the ones I truly, truly love, I'm trying to find like a nice restored Blu-ray copy
version
of it. Yeah. So Something Weird had one, like the witch one, and it came with the one with the Atlantis. No, it came with another really good one. I wonder if that's the one I ordered. Anyway, that one, Something Weird put out. So you got two movies on the same thing. All the reviews said like this was like the best restored copy of it, and you get the complete Mystery Science Theater. Oh, I know what it is. I remembered it. Hercules against the Moon Men. Mystery Science Theater did it. And the Evil Queen. That's the one where. Oh my God, that was so good. So the Evil Queen.
That's the one you said looks like
Carolyn Monroe mixed with Elvira. So that Evil Queen,
I can see that, yeah,
had made a deal with. So they said that like the original version of it, there was no Moon Men, but like it came out around the same time as the moon landing. Everybody was like all gaga about space. So there were these beings that lived in a mountain, and she made a deal with them that she would be the most powerful person on Earth, but she had to sacrifice all these people, and they were going to restore the youth of the evil Moon Queen, who's like this withered body lying on this thing. And then there were like these like rock monsters that were guarding them, and oh man, it was great, and it looked good. It looked good too, like that one, the Hercules Hercules in the Underground, that was like directed by Mario Bava. That's the prettiest one. That was like, the cinematography is like art movie quality good. And this was not quite that good, but still pretty good. But it also had the rock monsters, sexy evil queen. The Chiste has to fight like an alligator. It was awesome. It was like the full course meal of what you want from these movies. So that one, I was like, man, I wish I didn't have to pay almost $20 for the DVD of it. But this is the best one. It comes with another movie I did like. You get the whole Mystery Science Theater goof version of it and a bunch of extra features, and I'm like, hell yeah.
It's actually on YouTube, the whole movie.
Yeah, it's on. There's a couple of channels where you could watch it for free on YouTube, and they're good copies too. But I was like, well, if I'm going to watch it, then I think I did watch it on YouTube. Yeah, I did watch it on YouTube. So highly recommended, especially you could do worse for free. So anyway, sorry to
see. This is what you use AI for, making movies like this.
Yes, and the trade-off is, since I've gone on so long about this one, I won't even bother to tell you about the Indian movie I watched last night. But it was really good.
Go ahead.
It was basically a new movie made in the last year or two. If you like Long Kiss Goodnight, where there's this woman and she's she's married and seems like a nice housewife and all that, but she has a secret past that involves guns and explosions. And she's trying to fit in with this family, and they live in this village. The family's like the rich family in the village, and they have like kind of villagey type of ways, and the women are stabbing her in the back and looking down on her because she can't do all the domestic work. But when the bad guys come and they need somebody who can kick everybody's ass, she's the one to do it. And the title's like in Telugu or whatever, so I can't. It was like Ma something. I don't know. But it was kind of like, and it was sort of like a Guy Ritchie sort of filming. Like the music was really cool in the background, and they would do these like split screen things, and just the way it was filmed was really, really good. So it felt like a modern movie, very modern movie. So and the girl was fantastic. She wasn't quite Cynthia Rothrock believable in the fighting, but she gets extra points for doing it all in a sari. So it was really good. So my movie watching this as opposed to my comic book reading, my movie watching this week was fantastic. So there you go.
Well, on the plane, I watched going to and from Ireland. I watched the Lord of the Rings again. It's a way of getting, I only watched the first two. I didn't get a chance to watch the third one. They haven't aged well.
Yeah.
At all. And there's so many plot holes you could drive a bus through.
Well, that's because you're watching the short versions. I watched the 5 hour.
Even the extended version, I remember it being the same way. Who's typing?
Me.
I thought you were setting up your watch later playlist for the Hercules movies. I want to see the sexy girls, the big boobs.
That's John. That's John typing away.
I shall put my noise suppression on. There it goes.
So you can't. So I mentioned Micronauts. You can't ring the bell.
You bastard! Right, fucking hell, get back in there.
Silence.
So I watched them, and I thought they didn't. I thought they didn't age well. The Lord of the Rings movies. I thought, it's just not good. Very long, drawn out. Very boring in places. I think my attention span's gone down now. I'm with the kids now. The attention span. But I watched Sugar again, the first season of Sugar all over again, and there's stuff I caught in there that I didn't catch before, which is great. And it's a great series, and I know that the second season is currently on Apple TV. What did I watch? I watched Normal. Have you seen Normal with Bob Odenkirk?
I've seen all the action on the interweb on YouTube.
Who was the villain in that one? Because I'm pretty sure I did see it.
The Fonz. Yeah.
What was the one with him where like the villain was the villain
Nobody.
Like Sharon Stone or
that was Nobody too.
Was that part 2? Okay.
Yeah, the Sharon Stone was Nobody part 2, but Normal is the setup is all there. I mean, there's stuff that happens in the beginning of the movie. Said, well, that's going to come back. Well, that's going to come back. Well, that's going to everything in the first 20 minutes is all big setup, and it's going to play a part in it. Like the whole plot is that he's a temporary sheriff in this small little sleepy town, but the town has a big secret. And there's because the old sheriff is dead. He died. He died from exposure to the elements like cold. Lena Headey's in it as well. And
everything
there's
comes back.
Yeah, and at the beginning, you see him in the police station, and he goes into the armory, and it's like fucking hell. It's like all the best equipment you can ever buy, and the woman there says, well, that's because the sheriff after 9/11 put in for all the grants he could possibly get for all the weapons he could get his hands on. And that plays a part in it later, right? And then there's stuff like that that's set up in there. I can't say too much about it because it'll spoil it, but there were a couple of shocks and surprises that took me by. I'm like, oh my God. Usually you have a movie like that, it's usually paint by numbers, but there's one or two things in it that happened that I'm like, I was surprised at, and it's very rare for a movie like that to surprise me. So it was really good. Bob Odenkirk plays himself as usual. He's basically the same character he was in Nobody, and I think he goes for these movies where the movie begins with N. Mm-hmm. So like Nobody 2, Normal. Wonder what his next one's going to be.
Mm.
So
Nuisance.
Yeah, Nuisance. Yeah. I think he's I think what's great is that because he built on his reputation of Better Call Saul, that he's actually producing these movies himself. I think he was the main producer. Yeah, so he set himself up a nice little vehicle to do his own things, which is great. The movie is great, and the Fonz, Henry Winkler is fantastic in it too. Great stuff. Hey. Highly recommend it. Your dad will love it, Rossy.
All right, I'll see.
Got lots of violence in it and deaths.
Well, because I usually see him twice a week. Monday because it's trash night and I have to take out his trash because the driveway is so inclined. The it's so far from his door to the street, and there's a deep inclination, or it's inclined. So I have to take things down the hill, as we say. And then I see him Thursday. So Thursday we'll be watching Reacher because the new episode comes out on Tuesday. So that sounds like a good Monday movie for us. So thanks.
I watched the first episode of Lanterns as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got that to watch, but I haven't watched it yet.
I thought it was okay. They portray Hal Jordan as a real gruff son of a bitch, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, there's something about it that's off for me.
It's David Lindell off.
Yeah, he did The Watchmen, and The Watchmen was fucking horrendous.
He was also one of the Lost guys, and it's like all that stuff that's like that made modern TV a little bit off is him.
There was one or two really funny bits in it. I do like the actor that plays Hal Jordan. I'm not really sold on the guy who plays Jon Stewart. Basically, it's Hal Jordan training his replacement. Right. So it's all right. It's okay. I'll have to wait like another 2 or 3 episodes in to really make up my mind on it. But if it's Lindelof, so I don't expect anything from it. I think all his stuff has been garbage.
So well, it's also Tom King, and I know you accused me of not following any DC stuff and blah blah blah, but I did read all of the Miracle Man run that he did, and I think I read something else before knowing who he was and what his reputation was.
Yeah, I've no interest in anything that he writes, because when I read the breakdown of Mr. Miracle, I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ! It's comic books, people. Have fun.
I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what the reputation was, but I was like, oh, cool, a new Fourth World story. Check it out. And the art looked good. And then as I got to the end, I had the Neil Gaiman feeling where it's like, if he doesn't start this thing up real soon and just ends it on a wet fart, that's where we're headed for. And it was like it wasn't just a wet fart. It was like a fire hose.
Yeah, isn't he the one that wrote Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, that the comic book was based on True Grit, and then when they got to the movie, they said, "Fuck it, we're going to change it."
Yeah, I mean, when you got something that's like so obviously based on a classic, and it's too well.
Well, the movie wasn't based on True Grit at all. Like the way like halfway through it, it's just completely.
Well, I mean, I could see the True Grit things showing through, but but like as far as it being like a beat for beat True Grit, no,
it's not. It's like your typical Western stuff. But yeah, he did the book, so I'm like, he keeps on getting work, man. So people must be buying his shit.
Well, as I listen, it's because people, it's. I think they put the name of the character on it, and then people go like, "Oh boy, Supergirl," and then the art on Supergirl looked really good, and
it's the art that sells.
Art on his run on Batman looked really good, and art on Mr. Miracle looked kind of different. It was kind of neat. Looked really good. And then as you go along, and it's like about
he's like the modern day version of Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb at least understood what makes a comic book fun, but he just sort of like spread it out, writing for the trade. And
yeah.
But this is just like, I if okay, Conspiracy Corner part 2. So he worked. He was a spook for a while, right? I think he worked
at the CIA.
Yeah. So one of the things that the people who are destroying comics now say is that comics were always political, and then they pull out that one Superman story in the beginning where he fights.
You mean Superman tying his shoelaces with his X-ray vision is political? Mr. Mixel-Pixelic shows up and Superman has to get him to say his name 3 times to make him disappear. That's political.
Well, so they'll point to like maybe a half dozen or dozen.
Well, they'll point to Captain America and stuff like that because he fought Nazis.
Right. Well, they'll point to like Stan's soapbox which were the exceptions to the rule, which is why you remember him, where he gets a little political, or they point to a Superman story where like, it's like the most mild socialism you can imagine, where it's just like there's a guy, slumlord, who's treating people wrong, so Superman sets it right, blah blah blah. So but the comics were also more than being political. They were like propaganda, like buy war bonds, and punching a Nazi, and Wonder Woman getting tied up by Nazis and commies and all that kind of stuff. So if comics are propaganda and you got a CIA guy now we're working on the most high profile comics that somebody can get a job doing, and you're systematically going through making them all about grief and trauma, and the characters not being very heroic and moping around and not being fun and not being role models that you'd want, not aspirational, that like, I'd like to be, if I had superpowers, I would do the right thing like Superman, or that kind of stuff. It feels like maybe there's just more to it than just a guy who somehow seems to be failing upward. Well, his comics sell well, so again, I don't know if it's because people like the grief and trauma storylines, or if it's because, like with Star Wars, you slap the name on it and it's going to be a bestseller. So, you slap the name of the character or the franchise on it, and it's going to be a bestseller. I knew guys like, who is the guy who did a bunch of the X-File novels? And then he went on to do a couple of Star Wars books. And then he did some movie tie-ins. And I think now he's working with the grandson of the Dune guy. But like, that guy's got all these like bestsellers to his name, but it's like, is it because, I mean, you had to be a good enough writer for people to not drop the franchise, but did people come to it because of your name and your writing, or is it because they like the X-Files and Dune and Star Wars? Best case scenario, you develop a symbiotic thing. It's like, oh, this guy does a good X-Files book, and so I'll keep buying them as long as he's doing them. But Tom King, it's like he didn't do Miracle Man Part 2, Miracle Part 2, because after it was a bestseller, did anybody like it? Does anybody want more of that? Same thing with Girl of Tomorrow. Is he doing a Supergirl Part 2 because people loved it, or is it just like move on to the next thing and fuck that up? Oh, the other one that I read was Adam Strange, and that was terrible as well. So anyway, so I do have some Tom King experience under my belt. So I gave it a chance. They fucked it up.
Yeah. Hey, what else did I watch?
Kalki.
Oh, I'm doing some retro watching. I'm watching the Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, the old Adult Swim cartoon from back in the day.
How does it hold up?
Some of the humor is still good. and some of it's like hit and miss. They do some fun stuff with Secret Squirrel and some of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons where Secret Squirrel's on trial for flashing people. Because you remember when Secret Squirrel would open up his coat and he'd pull out like a big magnifying glass or a ray gun. It'd be on the inside of his coat, but he'd be naked underneath the coat. So he's flashing people by taking out his ray gun stuff. So that's kind of funny how they treat some of the old characters. And I think they had Fred Flintstone as a mafia boss like Tony Soprano.
Yeah. Well,
because he owns it. He's in the construction business. See.
Yeah. Well, you tried to watch that Indian movie that I really liked.
I did that. What was it called? Darker or something? The 129 30. Kalki. Yeah. I always forget the name of it. Yeah, that was all right. I can see its appeal. Like you had these old gods, Indian gods, coming back to battle and stuff, and I mean the special effects in it are fucking amazing. Not bad for a movie that only cost what, $70 million or something.
Yeah, it was really expensive for them, but and for a developing country to come up and go toe to toe.
Well, it's not really developing. They got a nuclear power. They're a nuclear power, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just the effects are incredible. The only problem I had with it is part one. It continues. It leaves on the cliffhanger, and they haven't done part two yet.
Did you watch the whole thing with the big fight at the end and all that?
Yeah.
It sounded like you gave up. Okay.
No, I watched it all. I watched the whole transform. It's like it borrows from all different Western influences. Like, I mean, the guy's craft is land craft it's able to fly, and then it turns into a transformer at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it borrows from all this. I did like the old guy play the old god that was being punished.
He's like basically the Indian Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
The giant, you mean, or the?
Yeah, the giant guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's their biggest.
He's a protector of the kid. He's a protector of the pregnant lady because she's going to give birth to the savior.
And she's a huge star too.
She's not going to be in the sequel. I don't think she signed up for it, so they're going to have to replace her with somebody else. But I mean, that was done in 2024. It's now 2026, and I heard they're going to do a sequel. Well, they have to because they can't just leave it as it is.
Right.
And the dance number wasn't that bothersome either. It kind of suited the moment in the movie. That one part in the movie kind of like suited it, where the anti-hero hooks up with another female bounty hunter or whatever, and they manage to get into the complex, and they're all gussied up, made to look real fancy and schmancy. So that kind of suited that part. But if they had broke into songs anywhere else, I'm like, oh fuck this shit.
Yeah, that. When you said you'd watch it, I was like, I had a feeling that wouldn't be so bad for you because, again, it was like part of the plot. And it wasn't like all of a sudden everybody knows all the lyrics and and all the steps.
Yeah, it suited it. I mean, the little number suited it. So it didn't take you out of it or anything like that. So it was kind of good. It's a bit too long, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I think when you enjoy a movie, I don't think the time really matters. But there are some parts of it that kind of dragged a bit. I did love the comedy in it. I love the roommate that. Well, actually, he's the guy who owns the place where the anti-hero lives, and he's always complaining that he never pays fucking rent.
Yeah.
So that was funny. There's some funny moments like that in it. But yeah, I recommend it. Actually, it's pretty good, and I'm amazed that it only cost that much, which just goes to show you that I think Hollywood is fucked with their $300 million movies that don't make the money back. Because if India can do that on that budget, that movie, if that had been made in the United States, it would have been the first $1 billion movie.
Oh yeah, I mean it is a spectacle. And then like I was saying, there was one I saw a while back called Mirai that I'm pretty sure had some AI in it because it was long enough ago that it was only like when the AI really couldn't replicate things. So it's kind of like we're going to use this one establishing shot of a palace on a top of a hill or a mountain or something, and that's it. But they even say in the Wikipedia page that this is a low budget movie, and I think it cost less than $20 million, but it had palaces on a mountaintop and a train chase and a big fight in a ruined temple and a big fight in a warehouse and just tons of stuff. And I'm like, there were moments in this that I'm pretty sure, because there were some of the special effects I was like, that looks too good. Like the CGI was a mixed bag, and I think the really good looking shots were probably the AI shots. So yeah, and they don't have the witch hunt going on over there, or at least I don't think they do. They kind of do, but not like here. So if they make movies with AI overseas, they're going to surpass us really fast, because they got the imagination, they got the old stories with like epics and gods and battles and armies and shit. So, you know, we're going to be standing there with our dicks in our hand the way things are going.
Yeah, I was looking at it and going, if they were to make that in the West now, that would cost a gazillion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the GDP of some small country somewhere. They made that movie.
And even the giant effects were kind of convincing, the way they filmed it, and
yeah,
you know, that fight. So yeah, it's fun. I can hardly, but I heard that it didn't. They needed it to be a lot more successful than it was. It was successful, but like they needed to be bigger, and so I think the delay has been like, how are we going to
make it work?
That? How are we going to make an equal movie for what will probably have to be less money? But then again, maybe it'll be like enough people have seen it on streaming now that they'll come out for the second one.
Yeah, so yeah, that was good. And yeah, in my retro watch, I'm watching Primal as well. That's a Jenny Tartakovsky show about the caveman dinosaur. It's basically Devil Dinosaur for adults.
Oh wow.
It's really, really good, directed really well. Character designs are brilliant. Stories engaging. It's fantastic. I think I said it before. I think he's a big comic book guy, because a lot of the stuff he does, you can see its roots in comics. For example, Primal, like I said, it is an adult version of Devil Dinosaur. You had the caveman and his pet, or as a companion dinosaur, you know, and their little travels around the primitive world. And then Samurai Jack is basically Ronin.
Oh,
whereas, well, Samurai, yeah, the samurai fighting a demon in Japan, and he gets blasted far into the future, and he has to try and find his way. Where Apu, the evil guy, won, and so he has to find the whole world is run by Apu and his minions. So he has to find his way back to Japan in the past to slay the demon. And what's great about that is usually an animated show like that, they don't really have a definitive ending, but Samurai Jack did. They did come out with a final season that ended the whole thing, which is super cool. But you can see that he was influenced by Frank Miller.
Did you ever see that show that got memory hold called Symbionic Titan?
I think you mentioned it before, and I might have looked at it.
It is a dumping ground for everything I like. It's as far as like the manga and live action Japanese stuff, giant robots and all that. And it is inspired by the classic good old stuff.
Oh yeah, I see it. I can totally, yeah.
Yeah, so if you like his
stuff, it lasted one season.
You want to know why? Because they did the math and they said that there was one of the few cartoons that didn't already have the toy deal in place.
Yeah, that's a toy merchandise license for the show. They couldn't get one.
They said that the toy of it would be like $40 and it was too expensive. So
that's some good voice talent on there. Tara Strong is always good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And she's easy on the eyes too.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about actresses with big jugs. I mean, Tara Strong, good grief.
So she has to be strong to keep those up.
To keep those up, yeah. She's got a strong lower back. Brian Posnan's in it as well.
So at San Diego Comic-Con, I went to go see a panel on voice acting, and I just wanted to see. I didn't know who she was. I just wanted to see a panel on voice acting, and Crazy X went with me. And once she took the stage, Crazy X it soured the day, because she was like, "You just want to be with actresses with big boobs like her," blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" And so
she saw through you.
Crazy X had big enough boobs that, like, I'm like, okay, we're I can stop here. That's fine. But no, it was anything else. And the thing with Tara Strong is, like, she was demoing her characters, and they're all these kind of like high pitched, shrieky voiced characters.
Yeah, I think she did some DC stuff.
Yeah, a lot of. I think she was Harley Quinn in like one of the later things. So anyway, Symbionic Titan was awesome. And then John, get your bell ready. Get your bell ready. So there was in one of the Micronaut groups, one of the guys went to visit the studio, his whatever office production company, and there were like framed prints or artwork. There's framed artwork of him doing the Micronauts all over the place. So the guy wanted to take pictures, and they said, no, you can't take pictures of those. So he was taking pictures of just people in the office, but all the shots were like off-centered. So like the people were not the main focus. It was the Micronaut painting in the background. So, and that is one of the great tragedies of what could have been. So
you can buy the complete 2 seasons on Blu-ray, Rossy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they're $30.
It's not crazy.
All 20 episodes, cleaned, enhanced, and remastered.
Is this like a legit thing, or is this somehow a fan thing?
I don't know. They're for sale on Monsterland and Media.
Oh.
I'll send you a link.
Okay, because there's some of these, like some of those Mexican wrestling movies. For I don't know how or where they found them, but they'll sell you like a Blu-ray copy of Santo and Blue Demon versus the Monsters, and it's like the most cleaned up print you can get, but it's better than the Cine Mexicano version that you can get legitimately, but the bootleg pirate version's like the better one. So we'll have to look into that.
Well, when I was in Ireland, one of the things that struck me is this is off different topic.
Sure.
That squishies are massive in Ireland. They're massive over here too, because my granddaughter is crazy about them, and they're just stupid little. Well, they're like little stress toys, right?
Yeah.
So she's got like you see the whole pound of butter thing that they have, and it's a squishy. So they have that. And in Ireland, I was shocked because they had a little black baby squishy. They were able to squish its head and pull its body. I'm laughing my ass off. It said that would never go over in the United States.
Oh no!
And I said to my sister, I said, holy crap, they selling black squishies, like black baby squishies over here. She says, oh yeah, should they have the white baby ones too? I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh well, that makes it all right.
It's no big deal. I was like, okay.
I mean, our first 6 phone calls every day in our kids department are for squishies, with follow-up at least 3 or 4 later on, like in the day. And usually it's like the parents make the kid make the call, because kids
don't
like to.
I mean, I bought my great niece a baguette squishy. I was thinking of you, Rossy, when I was buying it, because it's French.
Thank you. Well, they also make baguette Jellycat plush toys too. So
yeah, and the thing is, there's a difference. The kids can tell a difference in the quality, which are the real legit ones and which are the knockoffs.
Oh well, there's a brand called Neato that went viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
So we'll get the call, do you have any Neatos? And we'll be like, no, we don't have any today, but we have like a lot of the off-brand buns and the butter, and they're like, okay, thanks. And so they're not interested in anything that's not that brand. It's the exact same texture, but it's not that brand.
Myself and Marnie, there's a school that's just got built beside us, right? It's down the end of the street. Myself and Marnie were thinking it'd be good to be opened up like a small little store right next to the school and call it Trendy, and we'll just sell squishies, and then whatever comes along that's trendy, we'll just replace it. There'll be squishies 1 year, and then we'll replace it with something else. So that way you'll grab all the kids when they're leaving school or waiting for their parents to pick them up.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good the way you just put it, but I get what you're saying.
Just call it Trendy.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I told you.
I won't have comic books in it because kids don't read comic books.
Oh hell no, everything but
no Pop Funkos. Pop Funkos aren't for kids anymore. It's always the adults that are buying those.
No squishies.
Just squishies.
Put your order in now for all the K-pop Demon Hunter action figures.
Oh, you know what? I saw a lot of K-pop stuff in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
K-pop Demon Hunter stuff, like mystery bags and stuff like that.
I haven't been to a toy store, but based on what I saw at Comic-Con, they haven't hit the stores yet, but I've seen the action figures and
it's like it's Toy Story all over again.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, the dolls look great,
Yeah, because the Toy Story did the same thing. They didn't realize that, or didn't figure in that it would be a massive hit like it was. Right. So that's why at Christmas they're like, a lot of kids didn't get their Buzz Lightyear or their Woody.
Yeah, or the
didn't get a Buzz in their Woody, Rossy.
This classic Star Wars box.
Yeah,
buy the Star Wars box and we'll fill it with toys sometime
at a later date.
Year. Yeah, but yeah, no, that sounds like a great idea. Those pictures you sent us of the black squishy, I sent them to my boss, and she goes, I get the text back, what the hell?
Hey, they're really popular, those black baby squishies.
And he goes, whoa, and she goes, what? She goes, what is it? And I said, well, it's just a black baby. And I said, I don't think it's a gollywog. And she's like, are you sure? And I said, no.
Oh, it's dead. John, I don't know if you've seen them, but their color is actually black.
Yeah.
That's a baby.
It's not brown baby. It is like
it's black.
Baby. Yeah.
So I reckon Johnny probably bought a whole lot of them so he could squish their heads in.
Mm-hmm. Johnny.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That would make a good TV show, wouldn't it? Our Racist Friend. That would be a sitcom.
Millennials love cringe humor. I think it would actually fly as long as. But what would happen is like the Archie Bunker Pulp Fiction effect, where you have this character that's like, he's like the bad example and the person you don't want to be, and portrayed as the foolish one, and he becomes the most beloved one, and he's like
it'll be like Stuart fails to save the universe. It'll be like Johnny fails to save the universe. Be like that.
Johnny fails to make people anti-racist.
Yeah. John, did you watch the latest episode of that?
Which one was that?
Stuart fails to save the universe, where they go to this real peaceful commune.
I've got it, but we haven't watched it yet. We haven't.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It's great. It's so funny. Yeah, that's another great show. Did you watch the other spin-off with Sheldon's brother and his wife?
No, I didn't watch that. I wasn't really that bothered.
Yeah, I like the Stewart one because it's all geeky stuff, which I love.
That's right, and there's some interesting cameos, isn't there?
Yeah. So, do you want to do the prog? You got anything else to talk about, John, before we do it?
Well, I have a question. Is this Stewart guy? Is this a spin-off from something else?
He's the comic shop owner.
Big Bang Theory. He's the comic shop owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Do you want to say anything else, John, before we start the prog, or anything else to talk about?
Let's talk.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Tuffet, Dibble, Grub.
Okay, Prog 24. We're doing two progs. Progs 24.95. We have a cover by Cliff Robinson, Dylan T. Got its amazing cover and way better than anything that's inside in that strip.
Which there's a whole splash page that's basically like the same thing, but this one is the better version of it for sure. To be sure.
Yeah, beautiful cover. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very similar to what's inside, which is amazing when they do something like this. I wish that it wasn't so much across the actual white logo, but apart from that, very eye-catching.
Yeah, and the creatures are strategically placed so you don't see any nudity.
That's the worst bit about it, isn't it?
Yeah, so this one's beautiful and batshit crazy, and I gotta hand it to him that putting the big skull at the top with the pentagram and all that, it's like right underneath the logo. That's probably the only part that anybody's going to see on the newsstand.
Well, funny enough, when I was in Easton's in Dublin, right? It's a big bookstore at Rossy. You'd like it, but they have a magazine section, and it's so fucking tiny now compared to what it was 10 years ago. Tiny, and 2000AD actually gets lost. Judge Dredd magazine get lost in the stands.
You think I don't see everything you post, but like I definitely saw that, and I just don't remember everything that you post.
Yeah, so, well, that's so. Did I post a hurling match? I recorded some video of a hurling match I watched.
What happened in it?
That's like two teams facing off against each other with big sticks.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I did. I'll post that on in the chat so you can see it. The hurling. I might actually put it up on our 2000E site as well, just so people know what we're talking about.
Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah, this is a great cover. A lot going on. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Oh, yeah. And they have biblically accurate angels in there too. So
oh yeah, the one top right. Yeah. Well done.
So,
all right. Judge Dredd, The Omelette, The Finders, Part 4, which is really Part 13 of the whole thing. Ken Neiman, Tom Tully, and Gordon Rennie on script. Jake Lynch, art, Emily Roach, colors, and Annie Parkhouse, letters.
Right. Fargo, Locke, and Jeremiah encounter a small creature from Alien Town who tells them that they're scared in case the madness in the humans spreads to them all. Just then the creature becomes agitated and starts to run off, but not before 3 watchers kill it and then battle Joe, Lana, and Jeremiah. Giant arrives on his Lawmaster and helps out, and they discover that the 3 watchers are from Necros, and Dredd fought them, and now Dredd is in the omelette, which is here, and they've been keeping him here all along. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, everybody remember the Judge Child Quest from 40 years ago?
I did not remember these creatures from that.
Who does a little bit of fan wankery?
The more they talked about them, and because they do pop up in another installment, and then I was kind of like, oh, and then when they put it in context with like the villain, I was like, oh yeah, but and I, not to brag, and actually it's getting to be like I have wasted my life moment. I've probably read more Judge Dredd stories than most people, like even in the fan circles, and I still didn't remember these guys like until it was put in the context for me. So
they're Emerging Oppressor's little minions.
Yes, yeah, for our listener, in case they don't know what we're talking about, yes, that's who they are. So, but the art was fantastic. And what installment did you say this is? Well, not even counting the Black Tower stuff. What installment did you?
Part 13.
Okay. So we're already that far into this with knowing. I think it was in the magazine they said this thing's going to $24.99 or something like that. So they're already that far into it, and this Jeremiah character is just kind of like there, and
he just appeared out of nowhere, didn't he?
Well, no,
in the prog. If you read the magazine, he's in there, but in the prog, he just popped up.
Right, and they did that whole thing where they were kind of like working their way up to the omelet, where there would be like this 3-part non-story, and they introduced this character like in America back in what colonial time or time of the Pilgrims or something like that, and there was like this build up, and then now he's just sort of like he's not even a sidekick. He's like this third character that's just there, and is it going to come out of nowhere that he's some kind of super magic guy that saves the city? Who knows, and who cares at this point? But they're trying to make him like quirky, whatever. So
why would the Watchers kill that little alien? What's the purpose?
Because he's given away the secrets.
What secret? It's all pointless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had to kill somebody, so you know they're bad. So there you go.
Well, they had to kill him because they've got to have their weekly fight, haven't they? In each Dread episode of this story.
Right. Weekly fight that lasts a couple of pages.
And did you notice that they do the I don't know if you said this, I can't remember now off the top of my head. That image of Dredd being stabbed, they've got that image from all those years ago.
Oh yeah, McMahon.
Because they seem to be doing that in a few of these episodes.
Let's wait for the callbacks. Yay.
Member berries.
Yeah, all you old farts who remember this, but all them thousands and millions of young readers in their 20s and teens, it's all new to them. But when they hear you all talking about on the Facebook, which nobody goes to from that age, they'll know all about this and why I've done it.
Yep, they're too busy squeezing their neato to care about this shit.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm surprised they haven't come out with a squishy Dread. That'll be the next one.
Yeah, plus I love it, like in the Facebook groups where like some 50-year-old has to explain to another 50-year-old that this is a callback to a 50-year-old story or something. So,
see, what I liked as well is that the bit near the end where Fargo is just about to get sort of stabbed, and the creature sort of swinging his sword as if he's going to decapitate him, but then he's going to stick it right in his chest. So he's lying on his back, on his chest. The next page, oh my God, such brilliant storytelling. Fucking giant comes along and shoots him. The creature seems to be quite a distance away, and now he's on his front.
Yep.
It's things like that. I feel sorry for the artists on every strip because they've got to deal with an idiot who can't fucking write properly in this strip.
Yeah, I always thought that. Like, imagine spending most of your career just drawing crap. I mean, just not that your artwork's crap. Your artwork is amazing, but the stories you're drawing are just so not inspirational at all. Like, it's not. You know, I don't know. I always feel bad for these guys.
Well, I know for a fact that one of the artists, not necessarily on this strip at all, but I know one artist who said that he did the work for one of the writers who we know who the writer is, didn't like it at all, but that was the only job he had at the time. And it was just like, it was so destroying. Yeah, it was a case of like, even though he's a well-liked name, if something comes up and you haven't had anything for a while, you got to accept it. And it's just like, just the story was rubbish. And you just think, well, there we are. If the person who's actually drawn it all for you is not happy, you just think, well, what's the reader going to be like, even though the art's excellent? You know, I mean, that's the thing. You look at it and you see all these little things and it putting in an impossible situation. And that's the main problem with the strip.
Well, that's with the... I said that about the guy who wrote Enema Earth, Cavan something or another.
Scott, was it?
Yeah, sure.
I can't remember.
But like his resume was like he's written Star Wars and 2000 AD and all that, and it's like, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I was raised on Judge Child and Slaying the Horn God and all this. I get to write for 2000 AD. It's like you get to write the Regine story. Wah, wah. As I have Star Wars and Luke Skywalker and lightsabers.
Cavan Scott, his name is.
Cavan Scott. Star Wars and lightsabers and X-Wings and shit. It's like, you get to write the Acolyte novelization and spin-off story. And Jake Lynch and who's the other guy who's doing the main omelet story?
Dan Cornwell.
Dan Cornwell. You get those guys, and again, it's like raised on Golden Age 2000 AD stuff from the 80s and 90s. Like, I'm here, ready to pick up the baton. Goes like, yeah, you get to draw the omelet.
All right, Young Death Frederick, Keck W. Lee Carter, and Rob Steen.
Sidney and his dad are driving along, just like the start of an episode of Casualty, when a man jumps in front of them and makes them stop. He tells them that his brother Howard is badly hurt and needs help. Sidney tells his dad to cripple him and reverse over him, but Sigmund says that they will see what he wants first and then have a bit of fun. And as they enter their house, the man tells them that his brother is through this door. And as Sigmund goes through it, into the cellar, he pulls a Texas Chainsaw Massacre on him and hits him with a hammer. He also kicks Sidney down the stairs after him, and he threatens Sidney with the horrors to come. And you'd think that when he saw the strung-up torso of a man who was alive, it would work, but Sidney is made of sterner shit. The creep gives him a book and asks him to read from it, and as the words move around the page, sometimes when he does, Sidney starts it looks like the book is addressing him himself. And as he's doing this, his father hamstrings the creep, and then Sidney slices his gut open. After stringing him up with his own gut, the pair leave with the book. And afterwards, Sigmund was a changed man due to the hit on his head, and the book told Sidney to get rid of him. And we all know he does.
Yeah, that was a nice little side story, wasn't it?
It was a perfect sort of like, if they did like this, a little bit of their trip every other week sort of thing, you know what I mean? It'd be quite a nice little story. The artwork was excellent. The sort of the graphic death sort of sequence and all the hanging up with the guts, very nicely done, nice and bright.
Now we see the book that the Judge Child has in her hand in the regular Dead World series now.
And it's just it's sort of just getting a little bit more to the madness of Sidney. Obviously, because everyone thinks like the father taught him everything, but this just opens up a little bit more. The book's a bit more into him changing. So yeah, quite like it.
I like the end part. He will need a shovel. Nice.
I didn't want to correct you while you were on a roll, John.
Go on then. What did I get wrong?
You made a reference to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
They're not the original, the new ones.
Clearly, this is a callback to Motel Hell with the pig head.
Well, I'm not seeing that one, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when he pops through that doorway and he smacks him with a hammer and he goes down, that's what I'm taking it from.
Okay.
I think it's one of the modern ones, the first remake sort of thing.
Well, you missed an opportunity about my bonus room reference too. So.
Yeah, Motel Hell is the one with the pig head.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Rossy.
Thank you. It stars that actor, always wore a shirt, walked around. Rory Calhoun, sir? Ah, yes, Rory Calhoun.
What do you think, Rossy?
It's good. Yeah, I like the artwork. I like everything about it. A little one done, gets you in, gets you out. That book seemed to come out of nowhere. Like, if it had showed up in an earlier installment, I'd forgotten about it. But when it showed up in Dead World, I was like, huh? And like, oh, okay. Now I get it.
We probably don't remember it, but it probably was there at some stage.
Years ago.
Years ago. 10 years ago when the strip started.
I was there 3,000 years ago when they mentioned that book.
I've got to say that his background art is very nicely done as well. Lots of extra detail, in which you didn't need to go into, but it really makes it all pop nicely.
Yeah. Did a good job, Lee Carter. Nice stuff. Okay, Brink, The Call of the Void, Part 24. Dan Abnett, IJ Colbert, Simon Boland.
All right, so we're into half a year of Brink, pretty much. So Samuel L. Jackson is talking to the Castaneda chick with the robot arm. They've got the guy that she got in a bar fight with held prisoner. She wants to get reinstated. The old lady shows up and says, no, we can't. We'll reinstate you, but we're not going to reinstate you so retroactively, because that's not going to look good that you got in this fight with this guy. And then, let's see, is this the one? Oh, so Bridget Curtis, meanwhile, is on that shuttle trying to talk to her friend Gita, how you pronounce Gita, I'm going to say. She's talking to her friend Gita, but the communication's like really bad. They keep like getting knocked out. And the little black squares and rectangles that show up in their dialogue, that's gotten like a lot worse. And it's being replaced not with silence or another word. It's like with a sound that sounds like a word, and they don't know what's going on. And then there's this huge glitch, and they see like this ghost monster thing that freaks out Bridget and everybody on their shuttle, and then Gita's like really freaked out, and she's like, "Oh, Jesus is coming back for me," and then she like phases out, and the tech guy says, "Whatever that was, it was real." So, and there's like a million other things going on in the dialogue, but I don't want to take up the whole time. Was that the best part 25 you've ever read?
Yeah.
Of Brink?
The problem I was going to say, the problem I had when I started getting all these black boxes, I ended up not bothering to even trying to figure out what word might have been there and just skimming through it. That was the problem for me near the end of this episode.
Actually, it's part 24. I'm sorry, but
oh no! Well, it's rubbish then if it's part 24.
Well, you know, accuracy is the hallmark of this podcast. So it's continues to get good. They've sustained it for 24 installments. Pretty excellent. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if it's the best part 24 because all the other arcs of Brink have gone on for about this long. So maybe part 24 of a previous one was also ramping up to something as well. But it's how many different ways can you say that every installment's pretty good? So baseline pretty good. So
all right, Nightmare in New York, Book 2, Part 8, Keck W, David Roach, Jim Boswell, and Nunny Parkhouse.
All right, so the Witch Baker and his wife and Oogie Boogie in a basket show up to the Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. Meanwhile, inside, they're having a satanic ritual involving this skull that the ginger Irish girl's dad had. And it's got sigils on it that light up whenever somebody who's special is within range. A lot of magical bullshit about anything capable of disrupting the equilibrium, human keys and laws and magic and whatever. But anyway, it's going to cause the apocalyptic scene from the cover, which is, I don't know which came first, this one or the cover, or if they just got a prompt and two artists came up with some similar page thing. You know what, the way this page is laid out, it feels like it probably was going to be the cover and then they went with something. I don't know. I shouldn't second guess. Anyway, what's his face? The guy who can burst into flame. He's still under the spell of the mermaid woman who doesn't even appear in this installment, and he's like calling the ginger girl that he kind of had the hots for. Now he's calling her evil. Her little rat sidekick is chewing on the ropes, and he's something Moloch was promised souls, and this skull's got the sigils, so that's her, the ginger girl, the magic guy, and the golem. And then there was a fourth one. I don't know who the fourth one was. I kind of don't care. Maybe it was the rat. So I don't know. I don't care. I like the artwork better than you do, Flint. The story is actually fine, but again, this is part 8. I hope they wrap it up.
He's gonna give them warm pastries that are fucking soaking wet.
I know there's no plastic to wrap them up in. My attitude is, again, if they wanted to show like the last few pages of artwork that John Burns did, bring David and Roach in to finish it and just call it a day, that would have been cool. The fact that there's a sequel to it,
yeah,
I guess they're doing it so they can have enough pages to fill a trade. Once they do that,
that'll be 80% off at the 2000AD store
within weeks.
Within weeks.
I was so happy because every month I get a list of books that don't sell, and we get to put them on a cart and send them back to the publisher for credit. And I sent the complete Full Tilt Boogie
Excellent.
back to the pit from whence it came.
Excellent.
Normally I don't even the ones that even the super cringy. I don't hate every single one of the woke books we get. I just don't like the ones that are like really poorly done, and or the ones where like it's pretty hypocritical that you print this but not that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I did like this. I did like David Roach's splash page, but I don't really care for the story at all, and I wish it was gone.
Right, and it's kind of unfair to his splash page because I think the cover is a lot better.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, they are putting in the effort. You know, they're really trying to build the world building and all these characters.
It just doesn't do anything for me.
Right. First of all, there's for a story that's being told in the weekly installments that this is only part 8 as opposed to if you put all the Brink episodes in a line, it's like part million or whatever. There's too many characters for this 5-page burst to for you to care about anybody, and the main protagonist isn't particularly engaging. She's not, she didn't like all the old classic 2008 AD characters you cared about had like weird quirks and strange powers and all this sort of thing. It's just kind of like, okay, magical ginger girl that who doesn't even use her powers that much, or it's like the YA kind of character where like she was born special but doesn't really use her special abilities except maybe kind of sort of at the end, to save the day. But again, and I'm making it sound like I hate it. I don't hate it.
No, you don't hate it. It's just one of those things.
I understand where they're coming from. Yeah. Like if they finished this one, if they filled however many pages they needed for a graphic novel and then walked away from it and then reprinted it 20 years from now in the magazine, if we're all still alive and whatever, fine. But for right now, I'm kind of like, this is real estate.
Yeah.
I'd rather see devoted
with
to
something else. Yeah. What do you think, John?
I don't think about this strip.
Well, KW done already this time. He 3 of the stories in the prog are his.
Yeah, it's the end of times is coming.
Yeah, but even the weakest of them is still more engaging than anything having to do with the omelet.
Yeah. Okay, The Fall of Dead World, Justice Part 9. KW Dave Kendall, Simon Boland.
Okay, so the Judge Fairfax faces down Judge Fire, and he does the kill it with fire bit. And I think there's actually shells, or excuse me, John, rounds coming out of it. So he guns down like the dark Judge Fire and the Dark Judges. Big fight. Judge Fire tries to get him, but another one of the Judge Guards is in the dead Judge Guards is in the way. Meanwhile, Fairfax is like lurking around in the sewers. Judge Death consumes Judge Fear, and does he spit him back out as like a little tiny Judge Fear?
I think he's just trying
to. He basically shows his alpha power by
making him shrink.
Spits him back out as little tadpole Fear, and then Fairfax comes up through the floor. They are going to take over some bodies that they have in tubes. They being the other Dark Judges, they're going to take over the bodies and make new zombie bodies for them. Fairfax destroys the bodies in the tubes. They recognize that it's Eastwood, and she sentences them to death. It's some pretty exciting shit.
Yes, it's the most cinematic story in the prog. You can imagine all this reaching to its crescendo at the end of the film. But again, the colours, the fire is fantastic. And I like the impacts where the purple's coming out when all the rounds are hitting the creeps. And again, it's on the same 2 pages. Once you get back into the darkness of the sort of the corridors and stuff, got that green hue on it. Very nice. And yeah, I did laugh at like you were saying, he chews them up and spits them out. That was quite nicely done. And it's a lovely layout on the pages. Nice and easy to follow. And then the final panel where it's just the sentence's death, it's like, oh, fantastic. And then you got the next prog to come at the king. It's just, I'm really enjoying it. Can't fault it.
Once again, KW writes the most 2000 AD stories currently in the prog. No people if there are people standing around talking, it isn't for long. Keeps the action rolling. Weird shit, violent shit, funny shit. It's why you read 2000 AD. And I get it. You can't have 5 out of 5 stories being this because then it gets boring and repetitious. But you also shouldn't have 2 out of 5 stories being folk horror stories with slow burns. So anyway.
Yeah, it's my favorite. The artwork is great. The writing is great. It's yeah. You can see that's coming to a conclusion, right?
It has to.
Yeah.
But everything's falling into place perfectly.
But is it going to just be the usual thing where it's just another cliffhanger, or is it going to actually wrap up? So.
Well, it feels like it's getting there. It's slowly getting there.
You kind of know how. Well, you kind of know. I was going to say you kind of know how it's got to end, but we're still unclear whether this is that Dread World or is it like yet another like.
It's another dimension. It's not Dread World in the real Dread.
Right. Because it's like.
Because there's too many inconsistencies with what Wagner would write.
Exactly. So the question is could this Judge Death go toe to toe against the Mega City 1 Judge Death? And how many Judge Deaths are there out there? That kind of thing. It's so many questions.
So what's your favorite, John?
Well, it was a very difficult one for me between, it's strange, isn't it? Young Death and Death. And do you know what? I'm going to give it by the Nat's knacker to Young Death because it was a one and done. It had a little bit extra to the downfall of his father.
Yeah.
And it was just, it reminded me of so many things.
It was a nice little character piece.
It was, yeah, and the little sort of Easter eggs in it and all that. But I say the Fall of Deadware was amazing, and this just takes it because it was something different. You know, it wasn't something where you read it and just went, this is just filler. It actually had a meaning to the story, and it just showed how the character moves through it. Because we've all seen many things of the Young Death from oh my God, how long ago was the Young Death strip? It was about 25 years ago.
That's back in when the magazine first came out.
Yeah. So nearly 35 years ago. It was 1991. It came in, didn't it? Yeah. So it was nice to find something like this. And I would like, as I mentioned, I would like to see more of this trip of him and his dad, and to see what other things they got up to. But
and included in the omnibus too.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. So that'll be my pick too. Would that be yours, Rossy?
No, I'm gonna put my pole in the sand for the regular Dead World strip.
All right.
I enjoyed that one, and I enjoyed Brink. So but that was the tops for me.
All right, Prog 2496. We have a Jake Lynch wraparound cover. What do you think?
I would have preferred the back to be the front.
Yeah.
It wasn't eye-catching enough because
pretty muted.
Everything falls into the background on the front. Whereas if you'd have lightened up the characters' outfits and put them on the front, and even just had them facing the other way and firing at the enemy in the back, it would have been much better. I did like the image of Giant ejecting his mag and getting another one in place quick. Very nicely done that. But I think that, like I say, have that on the front and make them pop.
Yeah.
So, That's the only thing I have.
I agree. What do you think, Rossy?
I agree with John. The cover with the artwork all around is really, really fantastic. But to put those weird looking aliens like and I'm speaking for myself, but I think there are others who would agree that these aliens are like too obscure a reference. So for most people, it's going to be weird looking alien, and because of the way they're designed, they're not going to be something that grabs you as you're just walking by the newsstand. Unless it's going to be for those like maybe 100 people who remember them from the other story that are still reading 2000 AD and all that.
As the fans are dying off.
Yeah, well, but if you put the back cover on the front, it's kind of like, okay, there's a guy in a judge uniform, and even if you don't know who it is, it's like you recognize the costume or the uniform, and they're fighting, and there's still the weird looking aliens, and you get a promise of some action in there. So yeah, I think the back cover sells the prog better than this, even though, I mean, if you love these aliens, that's a pretty badass picture of them. So
did you read Droid Life, Rossy?
Yeah, I did. It's I'm not going to summarize it. It's funny. I think there was like at least 2 or 3. It isn't just like a gag strip with like one punchline. There was like 3, 4, 5 gags in the whole thing. If you like Droid Life, you're going to like this one.
Yeah, I see that battle is way up the levels in the the nerve center, John.
Yes, good old
spelling mistakes.
Somebody needs to go to MechQuake, or let's spell it wrong, MechQuack.
Yeah, one of the things is they released a press release about the Day of Dread in October. Was it October 3rd?
Yeah.
And they mentioned Batman. For those who love Batman and realized they fucked up, and so they changed it to Dread. And then Mulcher has his signature on there, and he spelled manager wrong. They had Manaher, Manaher, and then the email that went out to comic shops, Mulcher's email was spelt wrong. I mean, you can't. It's just unbelievable the amount of fuck ups.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to be contacted, and so he's like, "I'll just put this little typo in here,
yeah,
then the plebes won't contact me." Also, Manaher, I think that's what the person who manages a Korean comic book company is called.
So, you need to speak to the Manaher.
See, I wasn't going to go there with that.
Yeah, you did. You opened it up. You opened up that can of worms.
Korean comics are called manhwa, so that was a legitimate cultural joke. But no, you had to go the Johnny direction. So
oh man, you got to speak to the Manaher.
Special Johnny Fremantle tribute episode.
Yeah. Judge Dredd, The Omelette, Part 14. Ken Neiman, Tom Tully, Gordon Rennie, Dan Cornwell, Chris Bly, and I'm just gonna fucking call him Tom Tully. Annie Parkhouse.
Dredd,
he might as well be.
Dredd is ready to take on the figure at the other side of the bridge, but not before Grigori and the lass are wiped out without a problem. As they take him on, he keeps telling them that what they do, they have done over and over before. They die each time. And then it's Joe's turn, and due to him being a double-hard bastard, he drops his lawgiver after being told if he thinks he can take him with it. Oh, God. Now we have the weekly boring fight, but this time Dredd is punched in exactly the same way Batman punches Dredd all those years ago. Dredd then tells them that he knows he's the Judder, and just then in Mega City the Black Tower falls, and the aftershock is felt here, and it gives Joe the distraction he needs, and he thrusts a bone into Judder's chest. He then decides that to break the chain he needs to fall on his own and not be killed, which is what those lads did near the start of the story when they killed themselves. Anyway, he starts his long fall heading towards a familiar figure at the bottom. A giant
sag-bellied toad.
Fucking toad, yes. My God, it's amazing. Didn't you mention that about fucking part 2?
Probably. Yeah. I knew who the bad guy was, more or less.
And there's also a spelling mistake in this as well.
Oh, where's that at?
Or was it the Oh no, it's the other part in it. Sorry, there's a part 2 in it. So it's in the next. It's in the final part of the prog. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, we get to it.
But in this one, did you see the Batman punch to Dredd at the bottom of the 4th page?
Oh,
I thought this was a Fist of Dread. I thought that was a Fist of Dread one, but
no, that's I think that's the second book.
Oh, that's the Bisley where Batman punches Dredd. Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of got the Guardian right. I said he's related. It must be Dredd from another world or something. But he's like Judah. He's a Judah, so kind of makes sense. It's Dredd adjacent, as Rossy would say.
Yeah, you would have to. I mean, you're going to need like Cliff Notes or some kind of guide to this, because the gasp of real as recognition just, it's like, yeah, I remember that storyline from how many decades ago, but this comes out of nowhere, and okay, so there's a page of a punch out, but then it's like, okay, you just take a bone and stick him in the chin with it. I've seen Dolph Lundgren do that in his movies, so he did that in Command Performance with the drumstick. So, Dolph did it first.
Did you like how Grigori shoots all the rounds at the shield and the helmet so they all bounce off instead of aiming for the legs and things like that to bring him down?
Yeah, that drives me nuts in movies where you see like cavalry chasing down like foot soldiers. I'm like, why didn't the foot soldiers just kill the horse?
Yeah,
drives me nuts.
Quite easy.
Yeah.
And sadly, the female character had an off-screen death because of just sort of landing just before it, and I'm like, why? You've just shown us the other bloke getting his arm and his head chopped off in one sweep.
And it's amazing how easily she's killed too, considering she was a bad girl boss all the way through the other installments.
Yeah.
So
it's just, I don't know.
So believe it or not, despite my apathy towards a lot of things, I did read the magazine story about where the Black Tower goes away, and it involved there was Judge Rico and Judge Giant, and I forgot which one had to do the sacrifice, and it turned out if you turn the page and look at the ad for this, that Nick Percival, scary face person, that's the mother of the Toad.
Bird the oppressor.
Yes, and so there's like this whole origin story about her. So she's the big bad of all of this.
So you're saying that somebody's related to the villain,
right?
Like, you got to keep it in the family. That's shit that I always fucking hate.
And the big bad is in the thing that doesn't sell very much.
Well, they're hoping that you want to see how this all ties in. But of all the villains in the whole Dredd lexicon, I mean, to make this the big bad of the story that you're dragging out for weeks and weeks and spinning off into your sister comic, and you've got sometimes like a couple of stories in the prog that are tied into it, and a Judge Anderson story that goes nowhere and means anything.
That was absolutely pointless.
Right. Obviously padded out, way beyond its worth. And so, and then like you get to the final boss and it's like, oh, it's this. And it's like, oh wow,
I wonder what they're going to do when they've only got 2 people inside Division when this story ends.
Yeah, no kidding.
One that's Anderson, and the other one that the last in this, who's been retired, but they needed to come back.
Are they gonna leave it the way it is, or is there going to be a reset?
Dredd will probably be sort of washing his hair in the shower, and it'll all have been a dream.
Well, we've done nothing. Like I said before, we haven't done anything with this Pilgrim guy. What's his name? Jeremiah. Yeah, we haven't done anything with this guy, so maybe he's going to restore the land or some bullshit thing. Again, I probably shouldn't. Me theorizing with like bad ideas isn't isn't being helpful.
This
so
changes everything.
Well,
Yeah.
again, I mean that was a perfectly good story, and you were waiting for something to get changed, and it didn't. But and with this one,
I think they're going to kill off Rico or Giant. They're going to kill off one of them.
Well, one of them does, like in the magazine, one of them does sacrifice, but
I think it might have been Rico, right?
I think it starts off with Rico being like torn apart and rebuilt a bunch of times. I think Giant's the one that ends up being the sacrifice, but hey,
well, they're going to kill off one of them, and they can get away with it because Wagner's no longer writing Dread, so
right. So and nobody's reading it because of
nobody
that,
cares. I mean, I said to a friend of mine, this is the strip you should just take out in the back of the alley and just shoot it in the head. It's done. Dread is finished as a strip.
Well, it depends. Again, it's got the Simpsons problem of there's so much back stuff to revisit, and it's so hard to come up with something new that doesn't conflict with the backstory. It's got that Simpsons did it problem.
Yeah.
South Park had where they're standing around trying to come up with, the kids are standing around coming up with a plot, and they're like, Simpsons did it, and so especially since a lot of the better stories were just little 5-page one and dones, and then they killed off the villain. It's like you can't keep bringing them back just because it was a bad idea to kill them in the first place. So anyway, yeah, I mean, you'd have to really sit down. You'd have to do like one of those publisher retreats where you sit down, maybe even bring Wagner in for a day and spitball some ideas off of him. He doesn't have to actually write anything. He just has to say yes or no and maybe, or add to the ideas, and just really like plot out the idea, especially if you're going to be doing graphic novels. You can't just like keep filling this thing with random installments and then hope that
they can't afford that, Rossy.
with the stuff.
Even DC don't do that anymore. They used to do that back in the 90s.
Exactly. Well, you could do it as a Zoom call or something, but
they won't do that because you got to pay people. You have to people spend their time to put aside to do that.
Coordinate it and all this other stuff.
Yeah, so you have to pay people as well.
Right. So yeah. So there you go. That's where it is. Sad.
Okay. You said your piece, didn't you, John?
I did. Artwork was fantastic, though.
Yeah, it always is. Brink, Call the Void, Part 25, Dan Abnett, INJ Covert, and Simon Boland. Okay,
so Bridget and the old lady are talking to the tech guy about what happened with the call with Gita. And he points out that they are, when it works, you can talk to people 90 million miles away. Meanwhile, Samuel L. Jackson is talking to this leading guy who has a bunch of different names that they had captured. He claims that his IIA group is trying to keep people from going to the Mercury zone because it's very high hazard, and people go nuts just with the other recording or whatever it is that came from there. Bridget shows up to the questioning between Samuel L. Jackson and this leading guy. They kind of do good cop, bad cop, but not intentionally. He admits that his organization is trying to get rid of the HSD because they're getting too close, and they don't want that. And so Bridget pulls out her secret weapon, which is Holly Cutwell, the blonde chick that's kind of like her arch enemy, but she's also part of the same IIA group that this captive guy is a part of. And it's kind of like a dun dun dun, what's he going to say now moment.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Good part 25. No complaints there.
I mean, I had a little game which was look at his two plasters on his nose and his cheek to see when they crossed over each other. So you've got on the so your big one was on top of his nose, then later on the nose one was on top of the big one. So that was my little game while I was reading this story.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyways, it is what it is. It's the good part 25 of Brink, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Fall of Dead World Justice Part 10, KW, Dave Kendall, and Simon Boland.
All right. So Eastwood has the dark judges in their new zombie bodies and their crosshairs. Judge Fear opens up her chest and tries to get Eastwood to look. Eastwood's going like, no. Meanwhile, I think that's Mortis sneaks up behind her and like knifes her in the leg. She's bleeding out. She shoots somebody who says, kill her, kill her.
Yeah, he grabs her by the head, which makes her face decay.
Oh, that's what's going on there. Yeah, so she pulls out her it's not really a knife. She pulls out her leg weapon and pokes him in the face as she gets her helmet ripped off. And then Judge Fear is ready to do her thing when Fairfax shows up and gets him with the Gatling gun, and Eastwood is dying and decaying.
Eastwood's dead.
Yeah, she's like, he tells her, it's me, I'm here. So Eastwood has like a memory lapse to her friend when they're fighting crime.
Yeah, which I hate when they do that in movies and TV shows, but it works okay in a comic book.
Yeah, so they're fighting crime in a better time, and it's highly implied that Eastwood passes away. Yeah, but she dies happy, and then Judge Fire sneaks up behind Fairfax and harpoons him with the trident, and that's where they leave it off.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's all wrapping up. What do you think?
I absolutely. This was like just perfect reading for me. The visuals are stunning.
The artwork is amazing, isn't it?
It is. He just surpasses himself all the time. You know what I mean? Fear's ripping the chest open, the breast either side sort of thing. And I love the way it ain't falling for that for your crap again. And then, as Rossy says, distraction there. So fucking Mortis whacks her in the leg. And then you've got the action of where that bit with the helmet is fantastic on the next page, where their fingers are just getting into it. And you can see the rot on the side of her face start before the helmet's taken off. And then Fairfax comes in, shoots away, brilliantly done, gets down, and then you have that. And you're right about that. In a TV thing or a film, you'd be like, "Oh, for God's sakes!" But
yeah, I hate that. I hate when they do that
because it's nicely done here. It's like reminiscent about them are in the same situation, and you get that as that look of like we're doing this together sort of thing, and then you're broken out of it instantly. Where Fire comes in and stabs him through the back. And that, again, another amazing the fire effects on this whole strip have been brilliant. I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone better in the prog. But it's just fantastic. And then you get that, even though you've got the trident going through, well, not more than a trident in it, is going through Fairfax and coming out of his chest, you can also see Eastwood on the floor, rotted away a bit more as well. But, yeah.
Well, it sets it up perfect. It sets it up perfect for Fairfax to be the vessel for death.
Yes.
Oh, well,
and you've also got, hopefully, be a Scottish judge because of the next prog is Burns night.
It's a good send off for a character you wouldn't call a likable character, but it's a character you respect. And,
redemption.
Yes, that's a good one. And when this story started out, I remember like having a hard time with it sometimes because the artwork was kind of murky and hard to follow, and he's really developed, and it's especially with all the stuff that's going on and hopping around from character to character, doing different things in different places. It really has come into its own as far as like being an action strip with a lot of shit going down, and all of it's pretty exciting, and you can follow it more clearly now.
Yeah, it's one of definitely the highlight of the prog for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, Nightmare in New York, Book 2, Part 9. Keck W, David Roach, Jim Boswell, and Annie Parkhouse.
All right, so the ritual's still going down. The guy in the hood who's conducting the ritual sends the crazy German guy out to go answer the door where the witch baker and his wife are. They remove the guy who can burst into flames, who's under the spell of the siren. They get out of the room. Before the rat can finish chewing the ropes, a big old unicorn horn spear goes right through its back. And in one of the better panels where she goes, Celine, no. Pretty good work on David Roach's part. Then the guy takes off his robe and, while naked, starts conducting the ritual. Meanwhile, outside, the baker pulls out his exploding pastry, or I think it's supposed to be an exploding sandwich, and it doesn't work. So the crazy German guy is going to knife him, and then the Oogie Boogie character bites the German guy in the neck, and then the wife shoots him in the face. And while he's waving the axe around, he accidentally steps on the sandwich, and it creates I guess that impact causes the metaphysical explosion that was hoped for in the first place. Oh no, that's not the German guy that he's fighting. The German guy shows up and he's got this like spooky claw hand with a mouth and pointy teeth in it. And then the ritual's going on, and that's, the door is opening, and that's kind of how it leaves off in the cliffhanger.
Yeah, I didn't bother with this because I actually can't stand the story anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Okay. John?
Yeah, it's not my story, but I actually made an effort to read this part, mainly because of the visuals as I flicked through. I did laugh when the rat was stabbed through the back and she went, Celine, no! And then, for some weird reason, even though it doesn't look anything like Pete Wells, I just thought the person bringing the pasties, because obviously Pete loves his pasties, although I don't think he eats them as much now. I just thought that was funny with the exploding, was it a cake, that one? Was it exploding? Yeah, exploding cake. So I laughed at that. But apart from that, there's nothing for it in me. I just don't feel anything for the story. Yeah. I think the problem is when we've had the Amazing Slaying and that sort of like weird world, anything that's not futuristic, and they do this sort of like demon stuff and this, that, and the other, I don't think anything's really worked since.
It really does read like their attempt at a young adult novel, like a young adult graphic novel, and it's full of like pretty good Harry Potterish magic ideas, but the main character, this is like the second installment where the main character is like tied up and not really saying anything particularly witty or defiant or badass or any. She's just like reacting to, she's scared of all this stuff that's going on, and they're recapping like her dad being like the badass magician, all this other kind of stuff, and she's like the main character is like the least interesting thing in the story. Is probably that now that we're kind of, hopefully we're nearing the end and there's the big ritual and the climactic moments building up, it's like it's really apparent that this is the anchor, the main character of the story is like not really engaging or interesting at all. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah. Okay, Judge Rico, The Omelette, Part 15, The Finders, Part 5. God, what a mess. Tom Tully, Jake Lynch, Emily Roach, and Annie Parkhouse.
Giant Lana Fargo and Mr. Jeremiah easily wipe out the hordes of Watchers. And then race down a tunnel below Alien Town, but Jeremiah decides to stay behind. Then Lana Giant and Mr. Jeremiah, strange, are stuck in the antechamber whilst Giant is elsewhere, and a voice calls out to Giant, and it's a cadet who tells them that his companions will have to fend for themselves, but he is a favoured son, and his path will be a right old shitstorm of fun. The cadet asks him if he recognises the place they are now in, and he does, as it's the Black Tower.
Where did that cadet come from? Is he from the magazine?
You know what? I don't even remember. There is a traveling companion for.
Could he not see that it's a cadet? Why would he have to announce "Don't shoot, family man"? Can you not see that he's a judge?
I know.
Going back to the.
Where's the spelling mistake in this one, John?
Well, I'm just going
I think I saw it as well.
It's the way he says he runs towards the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we run toward. He never. No, that's it. Yeah, we run towards the enemy, never away from it. It's on the. Is it the fourth page? Third page, bottom middle panel.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was Giant that said it.
It's a case of even the other people who are involved just can't be asked anymore.
Listen, you're gonna have to report that to the manager.
That's right.
So the
Mikkel
cadet,
Maltq.
So the cadet is Giant's traveling companion in the magazine story. I guess the magazine story is the.
So the thing is, you would have to read the magazine in order to get the whole story.
Well, the magazine story is where that ending picks up.
Even though they told us we don't need to read the mag.
Yep.
Lies again from the mouth of Mulcher and Thag.
So that's where Rico's being played and put back together again, and Giant and the rookie are going to where Rico's being tortured. And then the big reveal and explanation about Murd the Oppressor and all that.
Why does even Giant say a cadet with a question mark? Because it's obvious it's a fucking cadet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me handing Rossy a spoon and Rossy going, "A spoon?"
I would do something like that.
Well, yes, you would.
So then. Stuff happens, and Rico, I guess, gets a few shots in. Giant gets a few shots in, and then the witch lady gets some magic in, and then that they don't say it outright, but I guess that's how Rico is able to get free as well. The witch lady's distracted, and he chokes her out, snaps her neck. There's a sacrifice required, blah-de-de-blah about the Black Tower. Giant shoots the ghosts that want the sacrifice. And then something the father's shit. So this other ghost lady who's with Rico gets him to leave. They leave Giant behind. The omelet collapses in on itself. Two big scary ghosts, like kaiju ghosts, that are confront Giant, and then that's when the building collapses in on itself, and Rico, who's all fucked up, is left outside. So that's what you missed, which I think is kind of a big climactic part of the story. So yeah, I mean, I would be it'll be interesting to see if you could read the prog next week without having known all of that.
All right, so your work is really nice again, but I mean overall it's just a bit of a mess for me.
Sure.
Same for you, John, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your favorite?
It can only be one. The Fall of Dead World.
Yeah, I go with that too.
The colours, the art, the way the story's unfolding. Like I said with the other week, it's very cinematic. It's the only story that I'm actually waiting to see this conclusion, because I cannot see if it's not a true ending at the end of this this series, this sort of like book, I'll be fucking so annoyed, because it's building up to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I agree. Dead World for me. Same for you, Rossy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything to say before we hit the road?
Have fun, everybody.
Jack Shaw, from the 77. If you have, you might still have time by the time this goes up. But welcome back, Flint. I am withering here as the guys who were repairing my condo took away an industrial fan that was blowing 200 degrees of hot air at the
No, it's just you speaking, Rossy.
Yeah, well that was coming out of my ass. So anyway, I basically see it whenever you talk about hot weather. Flint's always the champ. He will always top us with his Arizona dry heat. But when you're trying to sleep in a house that's like 95 degrees because your air conditioning effectively doesn't work, it's fucking miserable. It's bad when you go outside and it's like, finger quotes, only 90 degrees and actually feels cooler. So, and the guys took it like around 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, and it's still like instead of being 95 degrees, it's 90 degrees. So it's like, ooh, the air conditioning's working. So I can hardly wait for things to get back to normal as far as that goes. And that's me complaining.
Oh, all right.
Excellent.
I'll stop recording.